Hi everybody, welcome. Welcome to CONSERVATISH episode 93. I have done 2 a week for a long time, but you know what? I'm going to make the executive decision. You get 1 a week now, just for a little bit, just to see if the ratings go up, because Daddy needs more time to just do what I want to do. I'll probably that'll last like a week, and then I'll because I can't stop ranting. I was thinking about it, like when I was on my way here. Yeah. It's like, man, I get to talk about this and this and blah, 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 blah. So I'll probably keep doing 2. In fact, you might be listening to this right now going like, what? He said he was only going to do 1. So listen, new episode every Monday and Thursday. No, just every Monday, or maybe every Monday and Thursday. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish. It's very easy to do. $1 a month, $2 a month, $17 a month, whatever the fuck you want to do. You get access to memes and videos of me and videos that I recommend, podcasts I recommend, things like that. It's worthwhile. Also, my big album release party is going to be September 13th, Friday the 13th, at Brick and Mortar Music Hall. There's going to be Pollo Del Mar, the drag queen, is going to be the MC. DJ Kevy Kev is going to be a full band. Jefferson fucking Berge is going to open for me. And horns and everything, covers. It's going to be fucking epic.
Good stuff, man.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds like you got a lot going on.
And I'm moving to New York in September like an asshole. So, Daddy's very busy, but don't worry. I'm going to get famous, but only with your help. So you need to subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on YouTube, go down there right now and go press subscribe, hit the little bell, or subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the hell you're listening. Leave us a review and follow me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano, Feliciano. Thank you very much. I love you all, and I hate you. Our guest today is Nico, the teacher.
Nice to be here, Peter.
Thank you for coming.
I came and I went to one of your shows by accident, and then the second time I saw you was definitely on purpose.
Oh, it's very nice.
You came to Grape in the Fog.
Yeah,
just doing a little show
in Pacifica. Yes, sir.
I'm a usual there, and blindsided by. I got a text from my girlfriend who was working there at the time, and all she texted me was, "There's a man playing Pony on an acoustic cover. You need to get here now." And I was just sure. And it was a fun show. Then the second time, you had a dude cheering for you. Remember that he was saying,
Yeah.
Peter Feliciano. And
that couple from, where were they? Alabama or Arkansas? There was this drunk couple at Grape in the Fog, and they were so nice. And they were old. They were like in their late 60s, I think. And he kept yelling because I keep repeating my name. Patreon.com/conservatish. I keep, you got a brand, right? You got a brand.
You need to.
And so I kept saying Peter Feliciano, and he kept going, Peter Feliciano. It was very cute. And his wife would, I played a song, like a Aaliyah song. She's literally in her 60s from Alabama, and she's like, oh yeah, no, that's Aaliyah. She was on top of that shit. Yeah. Very white, but very, very knowledgeable. And I think she knew Hurt too when I did Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. She was like, no, it's 9 Inch Nails / Johnny Cash.
She knows more than me.
Damn.
I didn't even know.
So they were big fans. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm very impressive. You're right.
That's I don't know. I did stand up for my first thought was that you did stand up in the past because your crowd. I was more paying attention. Your music was great.
Thank you, sir.
But your crowd work between songs is something I pay attention to with all artists.
Thank you.
Man, I went to a Led Zeppelin cover band this past weekend called Shred Zeppelin.
Okay.
And the opening band was a cover band for Aerosmith called Air Rocksmith. The front man, I know. The second one is okay. But the front man was the same person for both songs or both bands.
Both bands. Okay.
It's impressive.
Right.
But as solid as the show was, as it was, the pauses between the songs,
like the dead silence.
He wasn't even silent. That would have been a little bit better. It was just his guitarist would talk, and the guitarist was very uncomfortable on the mic.
Okay.
So I was always, when you were talking, I'm like, this guy's obviously been in front of a crowd and has had a crowd respond to him with silence before.
Yes.
Yes. That's when you know.
Dude. I very much have.
How do you feel in those moments, man?
It's actually, oh my God, it gets a little, okay, so it's partially, I think sometimes it's my fault as the performer, and sometimes it's the vibe. Sometimes it's the people are just not as a group, they've all decided we're not gonna give this motherfucker anything.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing, but I do know that it's a nature thing. I remember, like, working in the food industry, and we'd be alone, or we'd be dead at Starbucks for a while, and all of a sudden, like, 15 people would all show up at once.
Yeah.
And someone said, well, yeah, people drive in packs. You know what I mean? There's like weird subconscious, guttural nature shit still at play, even though we don't really pay attention to it. But I think that's one of those things where it's just like, if everybody almost makes this decision not to like the person who's performing, and I don't know what it is. But, I mean, I hear comedians talk about it all the time, about people who, like, crowds who will just shut down and not give you anything. And it's the same material that you killed with yesterday, so you don't know what it is. There's different ways to react to it. Patrice O'Neill, who I talk about it on almost every fucking show.
I love him.
Oh, yeah? You were a fan?
Huge fan. Elephant in the Room is a masterpiece.
Oh, my God. That motherfucker murdered it. If you haven't watched Elephant in the Room... fuck yourself.
YouTube for free. There's no excuses.
Right? Yeah. No, it's on YouTube. I think it's the uncut version too.
This is a waste of time.
Oh my God, Patrice, man. And he talked about the way he would deal with it is, okay, you know what? Instead of going, as Bill Burr put it, hat in hand, just like, please like me, I'll tap dance faster. Yeah. Instead of being like that, he would be like, all right. Fine, let's get into it. Yes. You're not gonna like me? I'm gonna make all of you motherfuckers walk. And he just threw fucking grenades, and people would get up and leave. People would start yelling, and he would just take care of all of them. Boom, boom, boom. There's different ways to handle it. And as a musician, there's another way to handle it too, or there's other ways to handle it. And I can't necessarily, especially if I'm performing, like last night. I have a show every Saturday at Scopo Divino in San Francisco at a wine bar. And it's 3 hours of covers, and it's annoying, but pays the bills, and also promotes this and promotes other shows and things. My album coming up September 13th, but like the first two sets, and often at this place, the first two sets are just hard to get through. It's people who either are not paying attention or they're on awkward dates, and so they're just like, oh yes, what about your family, and fuck this bald motherfucker. And I have to remember a couple of things. Number one, it's not my job to make sure everyone's paying attention to me. Number two, I am paid just to entertain. Number three, I'm paid to play covers. You know what I mean? Now, I do slip in some originals here and there, but it's not people coming to see Peter Feliciano. So I have to have a little fucking humility, which is hard for me sometimes. Yeah. But I have to have the humility to understand that my job is just to be there and entertain those who want it. Yeah. At the same time, it is hard to remember that. And one of the things that, I have had times, especially, man, poor One Word. I did this album with One Word, this rapper. Great dude, great album. I really like what we made. But there was a couple of times where we would be doing shows, and it's hip hop, and he's a rapper, and I sing hooks. I wrote the hooks and
Nate Dogg.
Yes, I'm half Puerto Rican Nate Dogg.
There you go.
And I would be singing, but then sometimes people wouldn't be paying attention, and rather than I had at least once I remember at a show in Oakland, I started just almost like I didn't do it like tacky, but I started cussing motherfuckers out. I was just like, yeah, don't worry about us. We're just like, trying to entertain you. Fuck us, right? Fuck, whatever. Yeah. And it negatively affected my partner, who was One Word at the time, and I fucking feel douche chills about that still. But, am I ranting too long?
No. It's interesting because that's it's very necessary to eat a bag of dicks when you perform, because it's just. So when I first did stand-up, I stopped. But when I first did stand-up, I had the worst thing happen to me where I killed it. And that's, like, no exaggeration. I was at the Brainwash. They don't do it anymore, unfortunately.
Right. Brainwash is dead.
Yeah, it is. Shout out to Tony Sparks. Anyways, so I was walking off the set. People were giving me high fives. People talking.
And that was your first time on stage?
First time. Just like, but I was obsessively repeating my 5 minutes before going on stage because it's fear. Mm-hmm. And then when you just bomb, it's just, you're like, well, all I practice, that's all I practice. What am I going to do? And you kind of, it's kind of this thing where you need to You need to come. I didn't want that to keep me from getting on stage again.
Right.
And that is where I think the victory is. I mean, assuming you stick with comedy.
Right. Is getting back up on the horse.
Yeah. I mean, and because it comes out when you're performing next time. Mm-hmm. And you're just calm during those between songs.
Is that the reason why you left? Is because it was just like, fuck, I'm sick of eating a bag of dicks?
No, I think I was doing fine. It was just that I was getting more fulfillment working out of kids. I think that, or working with kids, because like I view teaching as an art form in terms of you're in front of a bunch of kids, and what I took from stand-up was that when you walk into a room, no one gives a shit about you.
Right.
And you need to earn that respect, not through intimidation, but through being human.
Right.
So that's why being funny and entertaining, the X factor is your ability to connect. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I transferred it to that. But yeah, if you with your situation with your friend One Word and rapping, I don't know if you watch battle rap.
Sometimes, yeah. Is it a show or you?
No, just battle rap on YouTube.
Sometimes there's some fucking serious. I got into a loop a few weeks ago where this guy, I guess, got caught like stealing rhymes.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just written. He stole lines, and then the guy called him out. And he did it again, still like on the next round. I know what you're talking about. And stole that motherfucker who was yelling at him.
Yeah.
His line, like it's one thing to steal another guy's lines from a different rapper. He got so flustered he stole the guy's lines who's right in front of him, rapping that he's battling with. That's some crazy shit.
And I think that same rapper had to deal with another opponent bringing out the PayPal receipts and showing him that, yo, you definitely paid this guy to write for you.
That's fucking nuts, dude. So I didn't see that one, but yeah, that's heavy.
There's rappers that'll falter when the crowd ain't giving them reactions, and they'll just cuss out the crowd like, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's just you kind of do give a fuck.
Yeah, you do give a fuck, right?
So
it's well, and there's a couple other things too. So like with saying 2 or 3 hours of covers, what sucks too is when I get into a mode of muscle memory. What sucks too is when I'm literally like at Scopo Divino, they were playing there was a tennis match on the TV. You know what I mean? And so I'm like literally watching TV while singing.
Oh no.
Because I've sung this song so many fucking times, and I can just mentally disconnect, which is, I think you're right. I think the better thing and what really makes people give a fuck is that you give a fuck in a way. But there is something like, if the first 2 sets are usually people no one gives a fuck, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna keep going, you know what I mean? And then at the end, especially the last half hour of whatever end set is usually good, and I'm not exactly sure why, but you know, I try to keep going, but it's fucking disheartening, I gotta goddamn tell you. And I've reached this point, both with people not listening to the podcast as much as I would like, you know, or not getting, I've reached this point where I'm a bit like, I feel like Patrice, where I was just like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna, because I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop ranting and saying what I want to say. Yeah. But I also, and maybe that is good, because it means I'm accepting and embracing this piece of me that is useful, rather than trying to tap dance fast enough. Because sometimes when I'm tap dancing fast, I'll run out of my voice will die quicker in a show, because I'm trying to because for some reason subconsciously connecting to the audience feels like if I just try harder, that's not necessarily so.
You got to be efficient, man.
I have to be efficient.
You got to be efficient. So how long have you been performing in front of people?
2012, I think.
Okay.
So about 7 years.
So how sensitive were you when you first started to crowd compared to what it is now? Like what would you say to yourself in terms of how would you react after sets in your rookie year?
I think, I don't know if I think the first one, my guitar sounded like shit. I sounded like shit, and I think I maybe did. It was at Brainwash too, from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I think because Brainwash was the type of place where you could just email them, say, "Hey, I've never done a show in my life. Can I have Friday between 7 and 8?" Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like they were just like, "Yeah," because we're a laundromat and a cafe. We do whatever the fuck you want. You know,
we're owning it. Whatever.
Yeah. Which unfortunately is probably part of the reason why I died, because they didn't have
an
identity, space or no, I think they had an identity, but they just didn't have. It's similar to like when someone reaches out to me about playing at a show, or someone reaches out to me about writing a hook for them. I am no longer in the business of, okay, I'll do something for free or I'll take something cheaper, because it's like my time is valuable and my gifts are valuable, which is a weird feeling. I feel like I'm an arrogant piece of shit when I say that, but it's not. You have to value what you do, and so. I think maybe the reason why Brainwash died is because they didn't value what they did. And they were just like, hey, this is, we're just the rinky-dink place and do whatever the fuck I'm not to talk shit.
I know.
But, you know what I mean? Like, when you have a place that is in the Soma district, it's one thing to be a cafe in Redwood City, you know what I mean? And or fucking San Leandro and doing that. But to be in the Soma district, you have to have goddamn money. And when you don't have... what's that status, like legacy status or historical status, your business needs to take in a good amount of fucking cash.
Yeah.
And if you're not valuing what the space that you have and being maybe a little more less lenient, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, no, you need to, if you're going to have a show here, you need to bring 10 people, or you need to bring 15 people, you need to, whatever. If that doesn't happen, then there's less money that goes in and there's less value. You know what I mean? I think we all kind of took Brainwash for granted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think those places are like absolutely necessary. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
To give that opportunity to people, it's super risky.
If I hadn't had that, I would absolutely be screwed. If it wasn't for Brainwash, I wouldn't be a fucking musician, I don't think. Well, I would be a musician, but I wouldn't know. Oh, I can just email places? Great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for all those artists out there who have never, like, done a show and are just playing in their garage thinking, like, this is all I need to do, and someone will come by. I always thought, like, I'd be homeless because it was before I got sober. But like I just figured like I would be playing guitar on the street somewhere, and some music producer would be coming by, some record producer, and they, hey kid, I like your sound, and then snatch me up out of the gutter, put me in a studio, and as I was winning my Grammy, I could say fuck you all, But that's not what it is. You can email places and they will get back to you, There are, certain limits. A Brainwash Cafe or a Hotel Utah is down in that area. Where else? Maybe Piano Fight too. But you can also, if you're a comedian, you want to do stand-up, reach out to fucking Tony Sparks. Reach out to these other comedians. Reach out to. There's tons of giant Facebook community of comedians. Where there's resources, and I think. Thank God for fucking Brainwash, because it gave me a place to like try it out.
A part of you needs to go through the trenches though, in terms of, I like, for example, I heard my friend bring up a story of her friend who I guess is 23, was going through a 4-year university, was so talented in coding, he just dropped out, got into a startup, and is making $150,000 at 23. And I told her, I don't know if I would like to come into that amount of money with that quickly, because you see it in boxing and MMA. If you come into that, you're not prepared for it, in any sport.
Right.
But to have no grind years. I mean, I'm sure the guy worked very hard, and he can't control the outcome of his pay.
Right.
But
does 23 really work hard? Let's be fucking real. I'm sorry. Maybe this is just jaded because I'm 33 now and I get to like speak to the youngsters.
I'm 3 years removed, man.
That's what I'm saying. And we're now in the old guard, and there was this 19-year-old kid who got into my fucking Uber a month ago or so, and he was talking about he's on his way to the studio, and I'm like, oh cool, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. He's a hip hopper. And was talking about how he was like trying to meet these like different artists, and like I guess he's he reached out to like he was on a video with somebody, I can't remember the fucking guy's name, but E40 was there,
Nice.
He's like, hey, 40, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And the guy, like, and E40, like, turned his back and, like, walked away. And this guy was, like, ranting. This 19-year-old kid rapper was like, well, I'm fucking, hey, fuck that guy, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you do have it. And I was like, how long you been rapping? 6 months. 6 months? And you're already going to be like, I'm not getting treated the way I fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to eat shit for a little while. It's absolutely, otherwise there's not value in it. One of the things I told him, I don't know if I mentioned this on the show before, but I went to Queensryche a few years ago. You ever heard of Queensryche?
No.
So Queensryche is this shitty metal band from 80s, 90s. Super butt
cool.
rock, super dorky,
cool.
hair and everything. They're not even really metal. They're like
what?
butt metal. You know what I mean? Like a
Rush?
like Poison.
Oh, glam rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like less lipstick, more still epic, still stuff important. Anyway, and I went to the Queensryche show partially because my friend at the time was a fan. We got him. I think it was his birthday or something. We got it for him, and partially because I liked that one song that they did that was on an album called Operation Mindcrime.
Great
which
name.
Is a
pretty dope name.
No, it is not.
No? Oh, God.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Operation Mindcrime.
Operation is the worst part of that.
Can you describe the cover to me? I'm sorry to get you on a tangent.
I don't even know.
Damn.
I don't even know what it is.
Sounds
anyway,
good. Go ahead.
there's one song called Empire. It's a fucking great song. Anyway, so they were on the Operation Mindcrime tour 2015 or whatever. So we go to the show. We're having fun. We look around, and on all of the backs of everyone's T-shirts is Operation Mindcrime Tour 2009, Operation Mindcrime Tour 1997, Operation Mindcrime Tour 2013.
They're working.
No. Oh. Well, yes, they are. But the problem is they're touring for that album. That one album was their giant hit. Ooh. And so they're redoing that over and over and over and over. Like, and imagine if you had a fucking joke that just knocked it out of the park. Everybody loved it, and it gave you the fucking world. But now everyone wants to hear that fucking joke over and over and over for the rest of your career.
Okay.
That would suck balls.
I got a great question.
Queensryche was down to do it because they got it too quickly.
Yeah.
It didn't have value.
Yeah.
When you have value, David Bowie would not do goddamn, hunky dory for the rest of his fucking career. He's like, fuck you though. Like David Bowie's like, hey, now I'm a snake. Now I'm gonna put on a dress. Now I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna make an album with fucking 9 Inch Nails. Now I'm gonna do that. He's a fucking artist.
Yes.
I would rather be an artist than hit it. And then now I have to keep maintaining that, that jerk off. Fuck that.
That's what I was, man. I told you I was working next door for 3 years at iHeart, and like, it's kind of crazy, that environment of everyone chasing shine, and it's just it's kind of, you live and die by the amount of followers you have.
Yes.
And that is your resume, not who you are when I'm standing in front of you.
Right.
Even when you get on the mic, I don't know. I believe that podcasting is the future.
Yeah,
in terms of
totally.
And I don't know. It's just that sense of entitlement is terrible.
It's a motherfucker.
It is terrible, man. And so this is. I want to ask this because I always ask this question to non-musicians. So for you specifically,
right?
Would you rather have a one-hit wonder or have a steady indie career for the rest of your years, or be like a studio musician for a song as big as like Old Town Road? Just a terrible pop song, but you'd be collecting royalties for the rest of your life.
Indie career.
Indie career?
Yeah. Well, a couple of reasons. I have, so like Patrice used to say.
Yeah.
He said part of the reason why Paul Rubens and Kramer had their careers disheveled by Pee Wee Herman jerking off in a theater and Kramer saying nigger from stage 18 million times. The reason why those careers died is because they had a mask. They did not show up as themselves. Kramer was the kooky neighbor, and Pee Wee Herman was just the kids guy. And then as soon as they got caught, the mask slipped. Now they're fucked. And Patrice used to say, "That's why I can't work at Disney, because I know I'm going to jerk off in a theater somewhere." You know, Patrice used to say, "I know me and my girl are going to be fucking in an alley." You know what I mean? Like, and now I lose my Disney career. Now everybody's disappointed in me. That's why I tried it with this thing, is just to be completely 100% myself from the fucking get. So number one, I can't get caught, and number two, I don't have to hide anything. And number three, I'd rather be that indie guy, because it's like so many times, because yes, people are very nice and they love my voice and they love my songs and they want to hear, they're like, and they're well-meaning and they like, why don't you do The Voice, or why don't you do like America's Got Talent? Because my ass would belong to Fox for the rest of my life. My ass would belong to Disney. I don't write Disney songs. I am vulgar motherfucker. I am a foul mouth. I am and so, when I look at a Frank Zappa or, one of those, I mean, in his day, he had a lot of fans and stuff. But like, nobody knows who fucking Frank Zappa is now. You got to be older than, fucking 30 or 40 to know who Frank Zappa is. And so I want the money, sure. I want as many people as possible to hear my stuff, but ultimately I would rather have the indie shit, because at least I would have my balls, and number two, I would at least get to be exactly myself.
So what do you think about the celebrities that are in that space, like a Pitbull, where he's making bank off Bud Light?
Absolutely, but he's not an artist.
I understand that, but what do you think they're thinking as they cash the check, as they go home?
I think it's similar to like a drug dealer. So a drug dealer is happy in their shit often to become a rapper, because they don't care how, they just want the money. Like a Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
And I did a song. It's going to be on the album. It's got horns and everything. It's probably going to be my first single off the album. Is That's Why You've Got Haters. And it's about rapper. Did you hear me play that song? It's a good song. And it's about how rappers often will say like, "Oh, haters because you're doing something." No, not that fucking necessarily. Sometimes you got haters because you're a shit ass rapper.
Yeah.
But there's a line in that where I'm like, well, and don't get me wrong. What did I say? Let me expound on my genius. I'm sorry, everybody.
Fuck Drake, basically.
Right, exactly. And one of the things I say is like, and don't get me wrong, there's always a chance that everybody around you is jealous, but I think you know what you're about. You're just scared the audience can smell it. So keep plugging away, be monotone, bore, and embellish, because fuck music. Who gives a shit, right? A soul is only there to sell it. Damn. And so it's that like hurts. if you're in, because fuck Lil Yachty, fuck Drake, fuck Snoop, fuck all these motherfuckers. Snoop.
Okay.
Snoop since 1995.
Hold on.
Everything before 95, great, thanks. Okay. But like everything, fucking, you kid. Did you hear? I talked about this on one of the albums or a couple of shows ago. Have you heard "Every Time I Come Around, Shorty Love Me Down"? That song he did with The Dream a few years ago,
no,
like maybe 10 years ago. Great fucking hook.
Yeah.
With that beat, I give it to her right. She like that. She say she bite, well I bite back. Who gives a fuck, Snoop? Who gives a shit? Fuck that piece of shit, dude. He doesn't give a fuck. He's got money. That's all he gives a fuck. That's all Lil Yachty gives a fuck. Is just getting my shit. E40 is somebody who sold fucking drugs just like Snoop, and I'm not saying his raps are smart necessarily, but he has a different weirdness. He works hard musically.
His output is
crazy. And he gives who in the fucking rap game does double albums? You know what I mean? Like
not anymore.
He did a fucking day shift and night shift.
Yeah.
Who puts out fucking double albums? E40 gives a fuck whether you like his raps or not. He gives a fuck about what he's putting out there. Snoop does not give a fuck. And that's what makes the difference for me.
So your future evidence for when you come into a person who likes when you need to prove that you don't like Snoop Dogg, just say, remember, he rapped on Corey Feldman's album on the lead single. Remember that? Remember the lead single off Corey Feldman's record?
I didn't know that.
He's mastered in so poorly, but that dude will do anything for money. And you can do a drinking game. Remember with Snoop, anytime he spells his name,
oh really,
in a verse, Because it's that predictable now.
Yeah.
And Doggy Style was incredible.
Sure.
Death Row, and No Limit, and Rhythm and Gangster.
Even the stuff he did. What was the one with the dog, or where he's chasing the bitch under the? Oh, it ain't no fun if the homies can't. Have it. That's fun shit. That's fun. But everything after fucking 98 was just dog shit. Dude.
Wait, so the one Rhythm and Gangster with Let's Get Blown, Beautiful, and Drop It Like It's Hot. I thought that was his last good.
Yeah, because of
Pharrell. Pharrell's a G though.
He is fucking legit.
He's a good producer.
Pharrell is the only reason why Snoop had anything after that had any good artistic output. And God bless Pharrell, because he was like, "Oh, this is a shitty rapper. Let me just hang on to his coattails, ride past that piece of shit onto fucking Gwen Stefani and all these." Man. And God bless Pharrell. Good job, motherfucker.
That was a great year for him.
That was a great absolutely.
Him and Chad Hugo. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and outside of that, who gives a fuck about anything Snoop has put out since back in the day?
He's a character. Like I feel for him. Like, did you watch Futurama, the show?
Barely.
Okay, never mind. There's this. I feel like I would hate to be stuck in his character. Like, if I would just want to go out sober and eat a sandwich on a bench, I can do that. He's got to be high as fuck, 3 joints in his hand, and just acting gangster 24/7. At 48, I don't know.
And he's more of a meme. That's why when he like wanted to grab his balls, when Snoop was trying to grab his balls and be all like, "Hey, fuck Trump," I'm like, who gives a fuck what you fucking say? Your artistic integrity left you a long fucking time ago. Bill Hicks used to talk about this all the fucking time. He said, as soon as you do a commercial and you're not a struggling artist, like if you're not a struggling artist at the beginning of your career and you do a commercial, I don't necessarily trust your ideas about anything, because you can be bought. Ooh. Okay? So I'm not saying I would never do a commercial.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is there one company who would you be like,
Daddy needs money. But I am saying there's something to that. If you're just a corporate shill, now why would I trust your opinion about fucking anything? Because we know you can be bought, right?
Yeah.
Like, Ewan McGregor doing commercials, or someone who already has established money. They are literally Ewan McGregor or something in fucking 2005 doing a commercial for Japan or whatever. That motherfucker don't need the goddamn money that bad.
Yeah.
He's not doing it because he's struggling. He's doing it because he don't have a dick. Like, he's doing it because, and actors are often like that. Actors apparently are empty vessels, like Louis C.K. talks about. Like, we just put different personalities in them. But like, ultimately, I feel like if you can be bought, you can be bought. And Snoop has been bought a long fucking time ago. I'm not interested in what he has to say about politics. Fuck that piece of shit.
So who do you like? This is interesting to me because rap is still young, and now it's the most popular genre stream-wise. So we're seeing the artists from the golden age just age, and we're now forced to look at what old rappers can bring to the table. Because rock got that. You got a new Paul McCartney record. Fucking The Who, or
nobody's listening to that though. I mean, I didn't listen. I didn't know nothing Paul McCartney put out since. Like,
I agree, but he's still putting out work, and it's just like you got artists like Andre 3000 won't release anything, drops killer features every 4 years.
Right.
Then you got the Beastie Boys.
But he also did that fucking Gillette commercial.
He did?
Was the last time.
When was that?
That was like maybe 10 years ago. That was the last time he did anything outside in the public eye, like in the public eye.
Yeah.
And then he just
super private.
He tried to do that Jimi Hendrix movie. Did you see that Jimi Hendrix movie?
Yeah.
You did see it?
No. I saw the scene where he's talking about how much he loves the guitar or something.
Right,
it was a terrible accent. I'm sorry. I don't know. I love him.
And I like Andre, right?
Weird.
I like Andre. But like, where did that? I guess that movie came out, but no one fucking saw it. But
straight
like
to VCR.
Yeah, but like what, with someone like that, I don't know. I mean, that's a good example of he got enough traction and enough money where Big Boy's still out there doing all kinds of shit, whatever. But Andre can step back because he's still got all these royalties streaming, all this stuff coming in. He doesn't need to do a fucking Gillette commercial, but he did it, and that probably helped him go like, "What the fuck am I fucking doing?"
Yeah, he's very self-aware of the fame.
Right.
So would you rather be? I got a bunch of would you rather's, but would you rather be or have your favorite artists release like a Ready to Die, just a 1 or even 2 or 3 tops, incredible albums, and drop off the face of the earth, or they release two incredible albums, and then their subsequent releases are just worse and worse, and then it's like, oh, you should have hung up the gloves years ago. It's weird. Like,
who's a good example of that? I mean, are you saying Snoop is a good example of that? Because
Snoop is definitely, he should have stopped 10 years ago.
I feel like Snoop didn't give a fuck from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Snoop.
When I saw that documentary that they did on HBO, the Defiant Ones, great documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it? It's about Jimmy Iovine.
And Dr. Dre. No, I did not see it.
Fucking watch it.
Just watch clips.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. And they talk about Snoop was like so different, and he was always writing and freestyling. Apparently, Snoop used to freestyle.
That's all he does now, and you can tell. You can tell he doesn't write his shit.
No, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But like with someone who's, it depends on if they're actually in the artistic, if they have an artistic mind.
Yeah.
Someone like. Even fucking stupid, Dr. Dre, or someone like Bowie, or someone like, like Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Michael Jordan gave a fuck about basketball.
Yeah.
That's why he's always like, I could school that motherfucker now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's still got that big swinging dick because he was the greatest to ever play.
Yes.
And so they have an ethic about it. And I want to listen to people who have an ethic about it. I always say, like, I listen to any genre as long as it's like the top 15% of whatever genre it is. If there's probably not true, probably 40, but anyway. I listen to a lot of different types of music. If there's give a fuck, you can hear it in your belly. Again, when it comes to an audience all instinctually knowing we're not going to like this motherfucker, we're not going to give you a thing, right? Same thing goes where I think we can speak to each other through other means than our fucking mouths, right? And we all know you can communicate through body language and through the hand, and through fucking eyes, and through all that shit. But I think when someone doesn't give a fuck, you can fucking feel it. I think the audience can smell it, and that's why ultimately it's cheap to them.
So do you? Because you can double down on that and be a purist. Like, I love hip hop in its, I guess, golden age, whatever,
right?
Whatever that, like, golden age,
90s,
Curtis Blow,
okay,
Big
all right,
Daddy
80,
Kane,
yeah, 87, yeah.
Boys. And I was that guy in high school who was just, I only listen to underground, that, and it was good music.
You can go too far, right?
You can be a purist. Mm-hmm. So I know you have a few artists that are guilty pleasures.
Oh my God! Yeah.
In terms of so slap that Taylor Swift.
No. I don't do that. But there is. I apologize in advance, everybody. You ever heard of Blind Guardian?
No.
They're epic metal.
Do you like their name? I was gonna say I like their name, but I didn't know.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Don't question. Don't check with me. I'm just a dummy. But Blind Guardian is a fucking epic metal, and epic metal is we're gonna sing about Vikings. We're gonna sing Blind Guardian has an album called Nightfall on Middle Earth.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
It's the dorkiest shit. Rise up and follow me. Wake up and clear your mind.
Dragon Force.
Yes, it's exactly like Dragon Force except slower. They have a song on Blind Guardian's fucking my favorite album because I know multiple because I'm that dorky. Blind Guardian's best album is Imaginations from the Other Side. And they have a song where they have a lute. You know what I mean? Like There's a choir. Like something about, and there is give a fuck. Don't get me wrong. I saw them live. They are all in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like those motherfuckers, I like them. Like, it's creepy and it's embarrassing, but I fucking like them.
They're unapologetically themselves.
Unapologetically themselves.
Like,
they give a fuck.
Yeah.
They give a fuck about whatever game they're playing. Now, their game may be dorky shit.
Yeah.
But they give a fuck about what they're playing.
What about mainstream acts? Anyone that you tolerate a few songs from them? The same people we're
honestly,
talking about.
Fucking Dum Dum Britney Spears had a few good, like, now I don't think she wrote those. I think her producers did all that shit. But they did some fucking Toxic. That's like a weird little that's a fucking catchy ass fuck.
Yeah.
You can write a good pop song. Early Maroon 5, That's a good.
Sunday.
That's good pop songs.
Yeah.
They had a whole fucking, everything that now they got
they've
fucking.
changed.
Now they've got Wiz Khalifa again because it goes back to who the fuck they are. When they get all the money and all the freedom in the world, suddenly the reality comes, and they didn't give a fuck to begin with.
Damn, songs about Jane though.
But they didn't give a fuck to. Otherwise, why would you? Unless we can look at on their fucking Wikipedia, and they had a couple of band members fall off in the last few years.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Like fucking even Coldplay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Coldplay has some. They've gone into different directions now, but I feel like as dorky as it is, I give a fuck about Coldplay's fucking Parachutes album. That fucking one, that first one with Yellow and all that. I never listened to Yellow, but the rest of that album, like there's some ball juice on it. Like you can listen and be like, oh, balls, you know what I mean? Like you can listen and be like, there's give a fuck involved, and the give a fuck is what makes the difference. I think, and. Either Maroon 5 had members who weren't writing, that wasn't that, dancing lilty little moves like Jagger guy, who gave a fuck outside of that
song.
Right? And they left, or maybe they just never gave a fuck in the first place and they were just happier and shit to just be pop. I think that first album has, those are a bunch of pop songs, but there is give a fuck in there. You know what I mean? But when there's not give a fuck, it's cheap, and it's cheap to the performer. It's cheap to the listeners. That's why SoundCloud rappers, you may get a lot of listens, but no one's gonna go pay money to go see you. SoundCloud is a free app. You know what I mean? Like,
it's weird because I'm only 26, so when I sub for 7th and 8th graders, right, and I try to talk to them about hip hop, it's kind of weird how I'm still young and I don't even want to keep up with their shit. Like I've tried, I'm just like, this is very depressing. But then I go back and I'm like, wait, when I was in 5th grade, I was listening to Jaquan Tipsy and Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
And dude, those songs were amazing. Yep, in my white tee, Dem Franchise Boys.
No, Dem Franchise
and
Boys.
You know exactly when you hear Underlay, Underlay, Mommy EI. Like Nelly's shit was great too.
I don't know.
The bling bling
but
era.
It wasn't. Yes, but it wasn't good. Come on. Okay.
Wait.
It was.
In retrospect.
All right. So, like as an example, I will listen.
Days.
I will listen. No bullshit. No irony. I will listen to. Well, I mean some irony, but I will listen to the Federation. Okay. You're too young. The hyphy movement.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I will listen to the Federation.
Did they make bands?
Yeah. No. That was the Wolf Pack.
That was. Oh my
that was
gosh.
the Pack. The Pack
Federation
is what they were called.
Okay. Go ahead.
The Federation was Get Naked, You Beezy. Okay. They were. The Federation did. Fuck. God damn it. What's the bigger one? The big hit from the Federation was.
Yeah, I can't. See, if you had a producer, you could just, hey,
I know,
pull
right?
that up,
That's
Jamie.
what I'm saying. You motherfuckers got to sign up for my Patreon. Daddy needs to pay a little fucking 17-year-old intern to do what I need
be a Google.
her to do. Sorry. Anyway, do you have your phone? I really want to know now.
My screen's broken.
All right.
So it's like really hard to mess with.
Man, they don't pay teachers enough. We got to get into your teacher shit too, but anyway,
that's fine.
But the Federation, or like, goddamn, Gucci Mane.
What about Keek the Sneak?
Yeah, or Gucci Mane, Lemonade.
That went hard,
dude.
That beat went
hard.
That was
absolute. But I got lemonade, lemon tit. Like that is some stupid shit, but I love it with my heart. You know what I mean? There's something in there's definitely ball juice, but I think part of the ball juice was the beat producer. Not it was fucking what was his name? Fucking anyway, the beat producer.
Yeah.
Right? And there are some people who are straight up like producers, like you asked earlier. Would you be willing to be a studio musician and get the royalties? No, I'm not that personality. I'm the front man guy. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say like, oh, fake humility. Like I'm that's what I was meant for. I'm not meant for, I don't even fucking care about playing the guitar. People are like, oh, what kind of guitar is it? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Yamaha, that's all I know.
It's affordable.
It's affordable. I'd rather have someone else playing guitar so I can get up there and be the front man and jump out in the crowd and like have fun and shit. That's what I love to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not a background guy either. But if I did get a shit ton of royalties, I would use that to make my own studio and make my own shit. And, because all of this, including this dumb podcast, is feeding that, But I don't know. I think I answered your question. What were you talking about? Oh, the Federation. But yeah,
no.
When I listen to that, there is some juice in there. I'm not saying there's no juice in Nelly, but I'm just saying.
The same rappers that we applaud for having heart shitted on that generation, dude. They hated that era, the bling bling era. They were like, this shit is bad. So I say that to myself as I shit on their shit.
Right.
I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to have another golden age.
I think they will. Well, I mean, it's all pendulum shit, I think. And part of the pendulum is we have to have everybody who don't give a fuck anymore until music, it just has to force itself to become free. And then every rapper is just, we need more rappers and more podcasters and more everything so that people can get so inundated that now they have so many options, they'll choose quality.
Yeah, you have to.
When you didn't have a lot of options, you didn't really necessarily need to choose quality because you were getting fed whatever you were. When there were only 20 radio stations and only 3 of them you liked, KSJO, KOME, and fucking, 98.5 or 1053 back in the 90s. When there were only those, you had the options in. That was fucking it, what I mean? And maybe, you had your fucking tapes. But outside of that, now we have so many options. Now people can be like, oh, do I actually like this? I think. Now, some people are going to be people who take in music a different way. I really like the album that I created, but I've realized some people are taking music lyrically. I don't understand those fucking people. I mean, often Beck, as an example, he isn't saying shit.
Yeah, he's very abstract.
Very abstract, and I love him to death. Yeah. I don't need to know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to say it because it's just there's some juice on there. There's some give a fuck, and once there's give a fuck, then that is the way I enter. There's risk.
You need to Success is so much more if there's risk prior to that.
Share this fucking podcast, you ungrateful cunts.
Exactly.
Anyway, so you're a teacher.
Yes.
What do you teach?
I'm working to be a teacher.
Working to be a teacher.
So I've been working with kids for about 4 years.
Okay.
And I've been working with them after school, at home, at recess, and during school. And right now I'm at San Jose State, and I'm going for my master's with a teaching credential.
Jesus, smart motherfucker.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, because
you're wearing a fucking Street Fighter T-shirt, dude. That's smart.
Well, that's the thing. It's just the culture in San Jose State. So let me give some context to the stuff I'm experiencing. So I went to college at Marquette in Wisconsin, and Milwaukee is one of the most segregated cities in the world.
Really?
So if I would be walking to class, all white people. Oops, I forgot my books. Turn around. Projects and black people. Right. It was very clear where people lived. Right. You point that way, Latinos were that way. Right. Asians were, I don't know where they were. But I went through that 4 years, and I was just like, this is kind of, I don't feel like anyone's paying attention to me. I'm not represented, blah, blah, blah.
Now, this was in high school.
This is college. It's for my undergrad. Okay. So I was like 18 to 21.
Oh, okay. So your undergrad in college was in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Okay.
So graduated, lived some life, and just read a whole bunch of books about, what it is to be black in America and things like that. And when I went to visit San Jose State, they had the 68 Olympics statue in their courtyard. So I'm like, well, this place is obviously going to care about me.
Right.
And I went there, and I couldn't imagine that they'd care about me too much, because I went from not being acknowledged by the school in terms of my culture and my background to I'm pretty sure these people believe I broke out of slave chains yesterday. And
I hate liberal fucking scum.
Dude, it is.
The liberals are the racists. I love it, dude. I love it.
It's crazy. And I needed to experience that too, because it's just like.
Well, okay, couple of things. Can we slow down a little bit?
No problem.
When you were in Milwaukee, do you feel like, so the word you kept using is like not seen, or like whatever, underrepresented.
Yeah.
Was there animosity as well? What's your mix, by the way?
Do you want to guess?
I think
I feel like you do that too.
I think when people are like,
fun.
"Are you Asian?" I think you're. I was gonna say like Polynesian or something.
No, I think you said that the first time you met me.
Right,
too.
right.
Yeah.
I would say
It's just two.
Okay. I would say black and Filipino.
You're correct.
Oh my God!
Black and Filipino.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think I am? Well, you've listened to the show. You probably know.
You told me, and I can't remember. I'm gonna
act really Asian right now.
Is there?
No. How do I mime driving 50 in the fast lane?
I was trying to imagine how that looks.
Chopsticks. No.
Why do
I
I think some Dominican?
Puerto Rican.
Okay. Puerto Rican. Is it two?
No, it's a couple. But
okay.
Yeah, Puerto Rican is the main crux of it.
Okay, Puerto Rican. Is there some like European in you?
Yes.
I was gonna say. I wanted to say like, well, not Spain.
Here's a hint.
Yeah, I was gonna say Germany.
For those who aren't watching on YouTube, I just did the Heil Hitler.
I was gonna say German.
Yeah, German.
So
there's
some
German, some is it Swedish or Swiss? I don't know. Anyway,
you're Peter. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You're Peter.
But Puerto Rican, German, black on both sides actually, but like I think probably total like a 16th or an 8th or something like that. And then in that Puerto Rican, there's actually Portuguese because the fucking Portuguese came and whatever. So yeah, I'm all over the place. But anyway, so do you feel like there was animosity when it came to putting you out of the way, or was it just like a weird Midwestern, like passive aggressive racism, or what was it?
No, it was more so I came from San Francisco. Well, San Francisco, which is a melting pot.
Right,
the shock of going to a place that is all white.
Right.
It's kind of isolating. But I was always that white black dude, so I liked hanging out with white people.
Right.
And black people were always questioning of my behaviors. So, but when I got in high school, that was an issue, I guess. But when I got to college, the black people were past that. Like, even if we didn't hang out, there was kind of this mutual respect that we made it there.
Okay.
We're in this environment and we're both working towards something. So to call you not black is immature. And
okay.
it was pretty cool. But the animosity, no. I think towards...
So it wasn't like animosity from white people going like, who's this motherfucking black guy? Blah, blah, blah.
No. It was just a weird, like, I just felt alone.
Okay.
And that was because I put, at least towards the last 2 years of school, so much emphasis on being black.
Okay.
So it just led me to reading a whole bunch of books that now I don't
agree with.
I don't agree with. There's no hope in those books.
Oh, like Ta-Nehisi Coates or whatever.
Yes, I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to.
Dude, that fucking piece of shit, dude. Let's talk about him for a second. Thank you. Now, I haven't read his books because I don't want to, but that motherfucker did a video. He's the writer of Black Panther.
Yeah, Between the World and Me, and
what he did, he did this video where he was talking about having the black conversation with his son. That's some fucking horrendous shit. Where he's like making his kid always be afraid.
Yeah.
Of white people. You're always going to be segregated. You're always going to have to fight. You're always going to have to be careful of police. That's some racist, fucking foul, disgusting shit. That's fucking abuse to do to.
And so this is the thing. So I read that book I read a whole bunch of books out of college, and that was one book that everyone was like, "You gotta read it. It's incredible." I read it. I was like, "That's cool. All right." And then when I went into San Jose State for my first semester, I was assigned that book for a project where I have to talk about the black experience in a
What was the class?
Math. I don't even know. It's just education. So it's like teaching in a diverse society.
Culture?
It was a culture. San Jose State is heavily progressive.
Right.
So I had to read this. I picked it because I already read the book and I don't want to. Yeah. So I read it again, And I felt so fucking bad. I'm like, this is hopeless. I'm
Right.
angry. I'm bitter. I'm super mad at white people when I read it.
Right.
I don't want this in my head.
Right.
And when it came time to give a presentation, I'm like, Dad, I talked to my dad. I'm like, Dad, I think my teacher wants me to talk about injustices.
Yeah.
But in my head, I don't feel that my peers knowing the exact percentage of, let's say, the exact percentage of a black injustice will be the X factor in them being racist or not.
Right.
Like, that's not what changes someone.
Right.
And and he said to me, that's not your job.
Your dad is the black one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm
No,
saying.
I know.
What am
I get it.
supposed
I
to
get
do?
it.
Okay.
But yeah, he's like, that's not your job, man. You're there to be a teacher. So don't focus on that. Let them sort that out. And
But you would get extra points from being more of a victim. I mean, especially if you had a white teacher or a woman teacher, you would be like, "Oh, thank God! You know, I'm so sorry for my whiteness." You know what I mean? Like, where you would get, especially these days. I mean, this was like what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
This is last fall.
Oh shit!
I'm on my last semester.
Okay.
So she's an Italian woman. And I sent her my slides, and she's like, "Well, this is good, but you should add in some school to prison pipeline stats and this." And so when it came time to present, I said, "I'm not going to tell you any stats." And I'd said to them,
"That's that big dick, man. That's that big dick energy, dude."
And I told them exactly what I told you. I'm like, "Do you really need to know the stats?" And then at the end, we're supposed to recommend the book. And I said, "If you want a book to understand black people, don't read this book.
Nice.
Don't read any book, because you're never going to understand me.
Right.
And I'm never going to understand you.
Right.
So leave it at that.
Right.
Just be a good person, clean up your own room, and come to me as you are."
Right.
And she was kind of so thrown off, just completely in a curveball. And she gave me dap at the end of the day. I still had to send like slides out to my classmates about the school to prison pipeline, which is that's a whole nother complex issue that they're just trying to make it, you're the victim. But I felt more empowered in that moment than listing off stats.
Right.
Because I don't know how you feel about this, but we can agree that there's injustices in the world.
Sure.
But
first things first,
yeah,
it's so much better than it ever has
been.
Let's be fucking, unless you're in Iran, like it's so much better. Or the Congo. Like in America, let's just take America. It's so much better than it ever has been.
Yeah.
And it is because of the first wave feminists. It is because of the civil rights movement. It is because of those things. But to make believe that it's still like, I actually know people in prison, black people, Mexican people, white people, and yeah, they did that shit. It wasn't the cops being cunts.
Thank you.
They fucking stole. They murdered. Don't fucking like, oh, he's black and in prison. Oh, it's so unfair. Fuck you. These motherfuckers took lives. I'm not saying they need to be put to death. I'm just saying, like, can we just use our eyes and we all see it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just because they're black or they're Mexican or they're whatever, like that they were unfairly treated, I'm sure, I know it happens. I've seen the video of a fucking cop, like there was a black guy with his hands above his fucking head and she shot him in the back. Fuck that fucking racist cop. Fuck that bitch. Or I won't even say she was racist. That untrained piece of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes they're just so skittish and they're, you know. That's not what real cops do.
Yeah.
But am I going to say it's just, I mean,
it's
like
all cops?
I watched the video of, what was it, Alton Sterling?
Yeah.
Do you know the details on the Alton Sterling?
He had the card, he had his license for gun carrying and they still shot him?
No, this was a guy who, so Alton Sterling, which is always like, they put it up on MTV made a fucking montage. The reason why blacks were killed, somewhere. So for Alton Sterling, there's a girl because she made a traffic, she was killed at a, she was shot by cops because she made a left turn when she should have made a right, or because he was selling cigarettes. Like, no, that's not what it was. Yeah. It's not like the cop is like, oh, you're selling cigarettes, bang. So Alton Sterling, one of the reasons was, because he was selling his mixtape in a parking lot. No, with Alton Sterling, I actually did the fucking research. I watched the dude die. Okay? Do it. Do your homework. I actually watched the dude die. You can find it on YouTube. Very, very, it sucks. But number one, he was standing outside of a 7-Eleven or something, and he was selling his mixtape, but he also was threatening another motherfucker, saying, hey, I have a gun. Don't fucking come here. So now the cops come knowing that there is a guy with a gun who threatened someone.
And
That's number one.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, when they said, hey, you're a guy, we had the cops call, we're the cops, put your hands above your head. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do that. So now, and they're like, okay, it doesn't fucking, like, put your fucking hands. So he's resisting arrest. They know or at least they were told he has a gun. Mm-hmm. They struggle down to the floor, and he's a giant motherfucker.
He's a giant
they
dude.
Struggle down to the floor, and from what the cops said, not only are they on the floor, but he was reaching in his pocket. So he shot him. The cop shot him. But they're on the fucking floor. They know the guy has a gun, and he already threatened somebody with a gun earlier in the day. Mm-hmm. What are you supposed to fucking do? It wasn't like he was selling his mixtape, so they shot him. I'm not saying the guy deserved to die.
Yeah, no.
But when you resist arrest,
you're playing a game.
You're playing a fucking risk. You're playing a fucking game, man.
So the thing that I tell people when they're overly skittish with black injustices, I just say, okay, so you do realize that they did a poll, I think on forgot, Washington Post did a study of police fatalities or shootings, and out of 1,000 for the year, 700 were white people.
Right.
And the minority is black in that.
Right.
So they're like, well, it's percentage. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, do you want to play percentages? I know where you're going, and I'm so happy. Well, I'm like, you want to play percentages? Why is it that? And I don't. I want a disclaimer to anyone who's watching. I have this knowledge, and I'm not proud to have these facts in mind, because there's serious issues that need to address.
Absolutely.
As an individual, you look at yourself and you're like, "Fuck, I need to get better here, and here." There's nothing to do about it.
We do the same thing as society.
Yeah, and so I believe in black people. So when I say this, it's like, you want to play the game with statistics. Why is it that I have to know the truth of the number one killer of black men 18 to 35 is homicide?
Right.
That's not a white person killing
from other black men.
That's a very uncomfortable thing to know.
The fact that blacks are 13 to 14% of the population, and yet are 45+% of homicides in America. What's the reason why? It's and on the whole, it's black guys killing other black guys in fucking gang shit and drug shit.
Yeah, and that's
sad.
On the whole, it's tragic.
It is
fucking tragic.
But to not even look at that, and obviously, I'm not saying all Black Lives Matter is just a piece of shit organization, but to not even give a fuck about what's going on in Chicago, but to give a fuck and to make your politics so smelly, to say that Alton Sterling is what you're hanging your fucking hat on, something that happens that should never happen, but a cop killing an unarmed black guy on the fucking maybe 10 times a year, let's say. It's not that, but let's say it's more, whatever. But even 100 times a year. There are 100 motherfuckers who died in Chicago South Side alone.
Yeah.
And you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. But you care about black lives being murdered by whites. You don't give a fuck about blacks being murdered by other blacks. And that's fucking racist.
Yes. And so two things.
Cocksuckers.
I get it. And so I tell them, like, so the issue here is police accountability, not... Because if you waved a magic wand and saved all the black people getting shot by police, we still have a problem of people getting shot by police. You're gonna walk away and they're white. That's racist as fuck. That's racist.
But I also finish your point.
So it's kind of, I don't know. I was sharing in the anger because this is what I'm having in my head when I sit in class.
Right.
And okay, here's what the second point was. How incredibly racist it is to say, well, what do you expect from them? Things are hard and everything's against them. I'm like, wait, this is the same people who led the civil rights movement and created a political success nothing in the world has ever seen. Now suddenly Well, we can't stop them from shooting each other in the face.
Because they're monkeys, right? You fucking racist cocksucker. God, I love my podcast. I'm the fucking best. I'm the fucking best, you fucking ungrateful bastards. Fuck all you motherfuckers who are like, oh, he said he has conservative in the fucking name. Go fuck yourself. I'm right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Vindication just feels so good in my
does.
belly.
And
I'm
it
sorry.
feels-
Continue.
No. I get it, man, because it feels terribly like I would rather experience the racism I felt in Marquette
Wow.
than I feel like I'm talking to people, but they don't see me. They kind of see their ideology.
Right.
So when I tell them I've had some good professors who are listening to me.
Right.
And I kind of get them stuck in these thoughts. But at the end of the day, it's like talking to someone who's heavily religious, where it's just, you can tell them everything evidence-wise, but they still love Jesus. So
there are people, and in the 90s and 80s it was more, but Bill Hicks talked about, if you don't even believe dinosaurs existed, or like, well, you're big on Jesus, okay, explain dinosaurs. Jesus put them there to test our faith. You know what I mean? Like, we can't even have a conversation.
It's mental hurdles.
You know what I mean? It's mental hurdles that are impossible to come over, and the new religion is how social justice are. It
is.
And I'm even more social justice than the next guy, and
they eat each other up, dude.
They eat each other.
It's a dog-eat-dog ideology or side to it.
And I feel like maybe this is self-important, but I feel like us mixed motherfuckers are really going to be the only way that this gets fixed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the only way is
so?
for us motherfuckers to be like, like I've had, okay, you want to take a break?
No, I'm fine, man. I'm
okay,
chilling.
I kind of need to piss and
go ahead, man.
Smoke a cigarette, but like, you got some time?
Yeah, I'm
okay,
good.
Cool. Because I think my phone just said it had 15% battery
cool.
anyway. But I'll finish this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've if someone wants to call me homophobic, I have very close family members who are gay who voted for Trump. By the way, she's a lesbian and she voted for Trump. I've fooled around with some dudes. It's not really my thing, but I tried it. Like, what's the percent? How many men's mouths does my dick have to be in before you motherfuckers say I'm allowed to say faggot? How about that? You know what I mean? Or like, how percentage of before I'm allowed to say nigger or whatever the fuck? Like, us mixed motherfuckers who don't fit in the sides are the only way this is gonna stop. You know what I mean? Are the only way it's gonna the pendulum to be like, this way, stop. Because that's the feeling that I have anyway. Maybe that's self-important.
No.
But do you kind of see what I mean?
I do.
Feel like us people who don't fit in the box that the left or the right wants to put us into are gonna be the way to fucking fix this shit.
I do. I would add on that our knowledge is accessible to every race.
Yeah.
So it's like you can run into a white person that's thinking the same way. They're just dealing, and everyone from the second they're seeing, you're a racist, misogynist thing.
Right.
I don't want to make it sound like the answers and the insights is just
no. That's not what I mean. No. Definitely not.
And I know that's probably not what you're saying.
That's not what I mean. But I totally agree with you. What I'm saying is, when somebody is playing the role, living in a world of, when someone is living in a world of identity politics, we don't fit in the lines.
Yeah, we don't. We definitely don't.
So we're going to have to be the ones who hold up a mirror like, hey, we don't fit in the lines. I just saw a fan sent me something that said, or a video of a bunch of Vietnamese American citizens who immigrated here illegally, who are all rah Trump. They marched on Washington, D.C. A bunch of like little Vietnamese people barely speak English. I love Trump. Like, it was the cutest thing in the world.
It was the cutest.
But like, this old guy started tearing up. I just think he's great and America first. Like, he's
That's
cute
hilarious.
But like, that motherfucker is and they would talk to a white guy, old white guy who had a sign, hate is not the answer, and he's like, oh, I don't understand why they don't have the same experiences. And it's just like that. That's what's gonna fucking stop people from living in the identity politics. That's what I mean. I'm not saying the information that we have is different, but the fact that I'm out here somewhere in the middle, that I like gay people and guns, like, fucking stop pushing, you cocksucker. Stop picking sides. This is more complicated than you're making it out to be. Stop talking down to motherfuckers. You know what I mean? In this identity politics game.
You have to use the bathroom. I'm going to continue the conversation,
Yeah.
but not at the, you got to use the restroom and
I'm going
stuff.
to piss on camera.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're
R.
going to take
Kelly.
a little pause. Right. All right. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the second half of episode 93. Yeah, dude, this is a fucking good conversation.
Yeah, so I was going to say it's interesting how the where that victim narrative gets tossed to. So, for example,
yes, sir.
When a black youth has to deal with under-resources for their sports, like basketball, like shitty hoops, weak shoes,
Right.
can barely eat,
Right.
and they make it to NBA, it's, wow, they're so great, look at them and achieving. But when they're struggling with books in math class with same under-resourced stuff and a teacher fresh out of college, it's kind of just, oh, well, no, the whole system's against them. Why is that tenacity only limited in sports and it can't translate to anything else?
Have you ever heard of Larry Elder?
Recognize the name, yeah.
Larry Elder is a black conservative who talks a lot about that, and he talks about, like, growing up. I grew up in the fucking ghetto. Why did I make it? You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in hard fucking times. Motherfuckers who I was close to just got, you know, he talks about being on a football team and being, there was this one friend of his who was a football player who was better than everybody. And he talks about, like, he could play any fucking sport and he just would maul every motherfucker.
Talented.
But he had an attitude problem.
Yeah.
And he talks about how that attitude problem would get him kicked off the teams. That
Yeah.
attitude problem would get him not picked because they're like, okay, I'm a coach. Do I want to deal with, like the Richard Pryor as an example? Richard Pryor is funny as fuck. But if I choose him for this movie, he's going to be high 99% of the day.
Yeah.
And then hopefully I get a good shot. And hopefully, if I'm a director.
Yeah.
So am I going to go for that guy or am I going to go? Patrice talks about how that was why he wasn't picked for Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
That show.
He didn't. Well, Kevin Hart gave him shit. No, it was Chris Rock gave him shit. It's like, dude, you just didn't show up.
Right.
Like your character.
When he was in the audition, he was like, Chris Rock was like, listen, we wanted you to play. You were supposed to play the guy, the dad. But you didn't know your lines. You were unprepared. You were like, oh, y'all don't like me anyway. And you just sabotaged yourself out of it. So Larry Elder talks about how that kid sabotaged and then started blaming the system, and then the system and then got into drugs and got into the whole street life shit. And he was like, why did I make it if I grew up in the same area? You know what I mean? He talks about the reason why he made it is because his fucking parents didn't give a fuck. His parents were ruthless with their love. You know what I mean? We're like, no, this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna fucking. They were real ass parents, and they had high standards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's that poem he talks about, and I've talked about it on the show, so suck it up if you haven't, or if you've already heard it. But he talks about a poem that they were learning in school, and the poem goes like this: while walking through Baltimore, so small and full of glee, anyway, this poet, this black poet, have you ever heard that one?
No, I want to hear it.
It's fucking really good.
Okay.
Anyway, if your phone wasn't broken, I would say like pull it up, but like. That's that black side of you that's making it.
No, it's all good.
No, I'm saying that the reason why your phone's, I'm making a race joke. Anyway, but so Larry Elder talks about this poet talking about being in Baltimore for the summer, and it was beautiful or whatever. But then there was this, and the poet was little, and he sees this white kid, and he was the same age as him, and he waves at him, but the white kid pokes at his tongue and calls him nigger. Mm-hmm. And from May until September, even though Baltimore was beautiful, that's all that I remember was that white kid being racist. Mm-hmm. And everyone in the class, and Larry Elder's hearing the story in college, and everyone in the class, and the teacher's like, this is going to scar him for the rest of his life. And he's always going to think he's a second class citizen. He's always going to think this poorly of himself. And he's mad. Larry's mad about hearing the story and goes home and tells his mom the story. Here's the poem, Mom. This kid is racist to this other kid, and it ruins the rest of his, the rest of his life and whatever. And his mom turns to him and says, "What a horrible thing to let something so small ruin your vacation."
Yeah. Damn, I'm gonna have to read that. But that
Larry tells it way better than I do.
No, it's
like
that's what I hate about these classes is just like, do you give me some agency? Give my people agency. Individuals are stronger than you believe they are, and than they believe they are.
Right.
And I like one of my classes. It's so bad. One of my classes gave out a worksheet: top 10 ways to find racism and sexism in children's books. I showed that list to 2 of my white sixth grade students, both girls, and they're like, "What is up with teachers? Like, is this?" Because they're understanding it too. Like one of the girls told me, "Look, it's not diversity if you have a whole bunch of you have a government for a community, right? 30 people. If they all think the same way and they're all gay, black, and then that's not diversity.
Right.
It's like that's my hope in a better tomorrow.
Right.
Because I'm optimistic. I think people are onto the shit of come on, guys. Come on. At a certain point, I was having this conversation today. Getting caught up in I'm a black man in this world. I'm a X in this world. It's so pointless to your energy for the day. Right. And I would rather break into a market where it's no representation of black people. It's all white people, and I got to deal with microaggressions and shit. Right. I'd rather do that than play one game as Jackie Robinson.
Okay.
Like, in terms of what he had to do in terms of breaking into a market of no representation.
Right.
He would love to be breaking out today. He's like, all these white people are nice. They just keep wanting to touch my hair.
Right.
Like,
God damn it. That's what Colin Quinn said. Like, he's like, if you're the one black kid at a school, maybe back in the fucking 50s or 40s it was shit. But if you're one black kid now, you're like you're the class king because you're the only black guy. The white people want to be around you.
Yeah.
The girls want to fuck you because you're different. You're different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like... Now they just assume like we're still living in Footloose or something. Everyone just assumes that like, oh, the evil white man. It's like, it's not how it is, man.
It's not.
And it sucks that we can't even show what our real experience is because we have to make believe. We all have to. I'm definitely hopeful too. I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of similar to like when I listen to, like what you're talking about, fucking the 7th graders and what they listen to. I'm like, oh man, oof, you don't know anything. You don't know. You don't know the Federation. You know,
Jay Quan. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure adults were like, "Yo,
I'm the Jay Quan of podcasters."
And then I just respond with, "I got a fake ID though." Like, it was just as dumb.
But it was so much fun though.
The quote I go by is. Even in the Bible, there's a verse that says "kids these days."
Oh, right.
And it's just
that's
exactly that's the fun of life.
That's exactly. You were asking about the music or about the old podcast I was on, the history podcast.
Yes.
And I won't shout it out because it's God forbid the wonderful family-friendly fans who listen to that show know that the sidekick is now the disgusting Peter Feliciano, but. But it was a great show, and one of the things that he talked about is he brought in a little snippet because he's big into San Francisco history, and he brought in the snippet that says, all of the artists are moving out, the rents are crazy, culture is leaving. This is the politicians are corrupt. This is and he's like, guess when this is from? 1905. You know what I mean? Like it's the same shit.
It's the same
just
shit.
cyclical. And what's scary, I guess, part of the reason why we don't want to see that and why we put it out of our minds is because we want to believe. We don't want to see our mortality. We don't want to see that we're not fucking important.
I agree.
We are not important. You know what I mean? Like when I sometimes I've been realizing this. Like I was listening to what was it? I was listening to even let's take a really famous one, Peter Pan. Mm-hmm. The music from Peter Pan from the Disney movie is fucking phenomenal. Does anyone know the fucking violinist? No. Even the family members of that motherfucker don't know that was the violinist for Peter Pan.
They didn't know he played the violin, probably.
No. But that motherfucker gave something to all of us, and his legacy is nameless, but So all that really matters is right here and right now. It's not about like, what am I going to leave? Because right here is all that fucking matters. No one's going to remember this fucking podcast after I'm dead. No one's going to remember my music. Hopefully a couple of people like it and they use it to it inspire some other musicians or some other foul-mouthed comedians or some other people to go and do what's right for them and to touch people's lives in a positive way. But ultimately, this is all that really matters.
Man, you know how incredibly luxurious, or it's such. I'm realizing now it's such a luxury to be able to do what fulfills you. Like I make little money, but it's always worth it. Like I'll go in extra hours because this means a lot to me, and I'm sure this is how you have the view of what you do.
Mine's a lot less.
Well, it's
good, I think, than yours.
No, but still,
I mean, a good portion of this is just my ego.
That's fine. I mean, your happiness is coming through in your art. I mean, that's trying. Yeah, you feel like you're almost it sounds far out, but you're an instrument in the universe. We all have in the orchestra, in the universe. We have an instrument to play. We got to find out what it is, and then we got to play it to the best of our ability. And people will get paid. And not even know that they're an instrument in an orchestra. And so it's kind of just, I think that people overlook the power of individual sovereignty. Like, just because I played that game where I was always fearful. I was always looking at Twitter to find out what Trump's doing next, to find out the injustice. And it was I was always fearful, and I was always agitated, and I was never relaxed. And when I stepped back from that, life is so much more free.
Right.
And yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. And maybe I'm overly optimistic as a 26-year-old.
No, I don't think so. I actually, I think that's honestly, whatever your religious or non-religious leanings are, that's ultimately spiritual, is that all that really matters is, in the universe is we all have our role to play, and I'm gonna, what, fuck it, I'm gonna make sure that I'm happy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what was your initial, like when you were in school? Did you know you wanted to be a teacher?
No, I didn't know. I had no clue. I originally majored in broadcasting, so I know all the equipment you're using.
Nice.
I would spend hours.
I apologize that I'm using it so poorly.
No, this is. I'm very impressed by this setup. It's, dude. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm not gassing you up. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yes.
But like, I
will take the compliment.
I would go and be in the studios up there. They'd give me access to a studio, and I'd just pretend to make a show. I have a nice CD DJ turntables, so I'd mix the music and then talk over it. But for me, talking live, especially on radio, is very intimidating to me. Okay. Like, I'd rather do public speaking. Right. But
were you nervous about this?
Yeah, to be honest. Okay. But yeah. I enjoy conversation. Like, that's just what I love. Right. What was I gonna say?
You'd rather do public speaking than live mic stuff, but you did. Well, you were a CD DJ, and then you would talk on it.
Well, so working with iHeart, I don't know if you watched The Warriors, the movie. Warriors.
I know of it.
Come out. I'm sorry. So my view of radio hosts were just like, they were the voice that came on the radio, and I remember turning on KMEL and just listening for that one song introduced by that one DJ, and I found out that they all pre-record their shows. Right. Some aren't even in the studio. Right. They're just, it's all about them.
That they haven't been curating the songs since the 70s.
Yeah, and everything.
Even back then, they were being, in the 70s and 80s, there was payola. Yeah. Someone would drop off, here's a grip of fucking cocaine. Yes. Play my song. Yeah. And that was every day. That wasn't like a rarity.
Yeah, it was very, I didn't like the environment. I felt very dirty. I gave it my all. I'd come in extra hours. And then on the last day, I remember I gave my 2 weeks because I wanted to go full into working with kids. I had it as a side job at the time. And the boss said to me, after I gave my 2 weeks, it's like, oh, so you're going to leave us right in the middle of Super Bowl week? Really? That's cool. I'm like, that's cool. And my last shift was working and cleaning up a storage closet. And in that storage closet, I found a newspaper clipping from 2003 of people protesting outside that same studio and saying FCC wins. And there's a bunch of people protesting with signs saying no Mick radio. They were fighting against the very same thing that is what I was working in. Then next to it, I find a book called How to Teach Like Your Hair's on Fire. I'm
What's
like,
that?
this is a sign.
Right.
In terms, it was a book on a guy who was teaching in public schools in Los Angeles.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And none of it was a waste. Stand up. I wrote screenplays and all this stuff. It all gave me skills to come into teaching, because I hate a teacher that comes up and hides behind the label of teacher.
Right.
Because I think everyone can name.
We're barely in the shot right now.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Speaking of broadcasting.
Right. Broadcasting majors.
I'm the most professional podcaster in the world. Continue.
So I would hope that everyone has that one teacher that really made a difference in their lives, and it was because they were a human being.
Right.
So my whole mindset going into classrooms is like, I'll know all the technical aspects of being a teacher, but if it comes at a cost of me being myself,
right,
good and bad,
right.
Like, for example, this is a prime example. I applaud you for saying nigger, and especially in front of me, because I hate the N-word. Right. The N-word, I hate it, and so I use it like with kids. Like, there was this girl, 7th grade girl, black or Nigerian. She came up to me and she's talking like, yeah, there's some kids that say the N-word to me, and I'm like, look, because she's like, I want to retaliate. I'm like, no, first of all, you don't hit someone. And I said, it's just because they called you nigger doesn't mean you beat them up. And she shook. And I said that same story in class, and everyone else shook. I'm like,
right,
guys, I used it in a context that is fruitful to her growth.
I'm okay. First things first, I never go, you are a nigger. Like, I don't know fucking, Ann Coulter. You may hate her, but she made a fucking salient point when she tweeted about Obama acting retarded. Yeah. And Piers Morgan was going after her. Like, that's offensive. It's like, she's like, no one these days anyway, it's very rare for someone to literally go, hey, look at the retard. Like, no one does that. They're talking about their stupid friends being stupid. They're talking about somebody doing something dumb that they disagree with. You know what I mean? Like, in the context is what matters. Just like Patrice used to say, context is everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And words is. So remember when I said in high school I didn't get along with black people? That's because I wore.
You were in San Francisco when you were in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would wear a T-shirt that said "Abolish the N-word." I hated the word nigga.
Okay.
I thought it was so dumb because it's like, wait, why is it that black people can use it? When a white person uses it, you beat them up. The Latino guy says it, and you guys are cool with it. But that one Filipino guy who says it, he can't say it. But that one Filipino guy says it, and you're cool with him. Wait, what is this? What is this? We have the power back with the word. That doesn't sound. That doesn't look like power to me. No. And it gets. There were just black people who are like, you don't say nigga, you dumb nigga. Right. It's just like now I say it because it's like it's just absurd. It's the absurdity. It's such a dumb word.
Honestly, I say it because it's more fun than saying fuck.
Yeah.
It has more umph. And eventually the umph is going to lose because fuck still has a lot of umph. Yeah. But fiddledy sticks doesn't have any fucking weight no more. So it's like, I just want to, like even Louis C.K. has that fucking joke where he talks about some guy at Starbucks making him an amazing latte. And he was like, that nigga made me some amazing coffee. Yeah. Like, it was like this motherfucker. He
wasn't even black.
Like this nigga. Yeah, it wasn't. It's about. There's some juice in the word. I don't know what it is, but it's a juicy word, and I feel in the right context, I use it, but I don't. People have sometimes like, well, are you being yourself? And I've had episodes. There's the Bruce episode. You probably haven't listened to it, but Bruce's episode 10. For those who don't want to hear me cuss at all, feel free. But like that was a very quiet, beautiful conversation between me and an 89-year-old guy who who used to be an Episcopalian priest and became an atheist. And we talk about his life. I just was interested and curious about his fucking life.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting here, I got him some chocolate, and he's like happy that he's getting away with chocolate because his daughter doesn't want him to eat chocolate.
Yeah.
Like it was a cute fucking hour and 15 minutes conversation that he and I had. And me having that conversation with him was just as me as having that conversation with Unlearn the World, or that conversation with you, where I'm fucking saying the N-word or saying faggot or so, or making fucked up jokes. The episodes with my brother are disgusting. They're probably some of my favorites because me and him get each other very quickly, and we are all manner of homosexuality, incest, rape. Like there's no, but that is just as much as me having a conversation where a few episodes ago I did a podcast episode with a gal and she just wanted to talk about. She was a mixed girl, and she talked about look it up, Kat Zabrana Bastard's mom, and she talked about abuse. And she talked about growing up half black and half white in a redneck, racist, abusive family. Mm-hmm. And it was a powerful conversation. But even in that conversation, she talked about how she faced racism from both fucking sides. Yeah. From black people too, who were this mixed fucking girl, whatever.
Yeah.
Have you experienced racism from blacks? Or what was what is the pressure you felt?
So when you listed that story by Larry Elder about that athlete, I've met that because I played basketball. I'm not gonna say. I played alongside a tragedy. I call it a tragedy because I think about that dude every day in terms of, fuck man, it was clear you had potential academically, and athletically, but you never applied it because in your head it was a white man's world.
Basketball hasn't been a white man's world since the 60s. What the fuck is he talking about?
Well, it's I know. That's what I'm saying. It's just like wasted. It's all gone.
Because of the victim status.
Because of your own head. Right. And that's the thing I'm trying to get to people is that we're living in a time where the external barriers to the entry of whatever you want to get into is nothing your internals can't handle. So I'm working in a female-dominated industry in teaching and childcare, but I'm not like, well, there's no men in here. Right. Maybe because it's just not naturally something men want to do, and that's it's all in their head.
Right.
And soon they'll realize it, but I'm not gonna lose sleep over there's no men here. Right. It's just I'm doing what I love, and someone's gonna follow, and if they don't, I'm still doing what I do. Right. Yeah, man, that's. I always operate with conversations with strangers and just conversations in general. I always assume that the person I'm talking to has something to teach me.
Right. And it's hard to, but like that's one of the things I've ranted about is that I think it's having conversations like this or putting out songs or putting out podcasts that make people go a little like is almost imbuing a trust in them, because I trust people enough to understand the context.
Yeah.
I trust people enough that you're smarter than you think you are, which is difficult to do because I also want to spoon feed motherfuckers like I'm right, cocksucker. But at the same time, it's like ultimately, it goes back to that first conversation. I don't want to be the masses guy. I could never be the front man of fucking Maroon 5. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be.
How much do they need to pay you to sing?
On fucking.
To sing moves like Jagger.
Cheap. Yeah.
How much to do one performance? Dude, you want
to hear it? Okay, listen. I'm actually, when I'm moving to New York, I have to join, or not have to, but I want to. It'll be fun. But like, there's an 80s band that does cover songs at weddings, and they do, all the wedding songs, similar to Casey and JoJo, or
What?
Hang on a second.
I didn't even drink this yet. I didn't open it.
Oh, produced in 2018. I was like, how could water go bad fucking 2 years ago? Okay, sorry. But they do the what's that one? I throw my hands up in the air sometimes. But until I make that cheddar, Nothing I can fucking do.
Yeah.
And I have to keep. If you don't want me to sing Dynamite, you're gonna have to fucking join onto my Patreon, you cocksuckers. You're gonna have to share this podcast with your friends and family. Because, ultimately, I would have to do that. But as far as like to be like a judge like Steven fucking Tyler on American Idol, I couldn't be that guy. I couldn't really sell into that life because I'm not that guy. And it wouldn't feel right into my belly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know how much time we have left, but I brought a gift for you since you're going to New York. I hope that you actually like this.
You see, I want to point that out to the good girl, okay? Because she listens to every episode. I've had her on 3 podcast episodes. Never brought me a gift. How dare you? See that, Will? You've been on my show fucking 3 times. See that, Jefferson Berge? Never brought me a fucking. Oh, that's not true. He did let me borrow a book. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
No, so I hope that
Lambasting
you.
my fans.
I hope that you understand where this is from. Wait, let me preface this. I thought about this. I'm like, dude, like I said in the email, like your act is it's honest, and that's a very huge compliment you can give to any artist is that they're honest.
Thank you, sir.
And to take a huge risk to go to a bigger stage, I think that you have the character and the talent. I wouldn't say talent. No.
I know what you
You
mean.
just- you
I know
have-
what you mean. I just think it's funny.
I feel like you can be easily marketable out there.
Thank you, sir.
And I know this is a risk, but this, I hope, can, be some solace, man.
This motherfucker. That's badass.
Yeah. I was like, that's the perfect,
Ladies and gentlemen, Tenacious D's, the pick of destiny. I am, I think if I play with this.
No, you can't. Don't play with it.
Like, don't play
It's not, it's
Dave Grohl will
it's
come up.
seriously, Beelzebub. Like,
Thanks so much,
no,
dude. That's
it's
fucking
okay.
really nice of you, dude.
Yeah. Don't play with it. It is purely just.
I will hang it up on my wall.
Yes.
This is awesome, dude.
No,
Thank you.
okay,
How did you
good.
fucking get this?
It's
It's people buy things.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Thank you very much.
No
It's
problem.
very nice of you.
No
I will
problem.
use it wisely.
Yes.
Although I have had a lot of motherfuckers tell me, "Do you know any Tenacious D?" I'm working on it. All right.
Which song would you try to learn?
Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy?
It's fucking
a great
all
song.
day, dude.
It's a great song.
I mean, Legend would be, or greatest song in the world would
Tribute?
be nice. Tribute, yeah. thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But like, not enough people. I feel like Wonder Boy's more fun. You don't need as many. It's not as long. To get soul onto that song, you need to know Tenacious D. For Wonder Boy, you don't really need to know Tenacious D.
I can see you singing Kielbasa's song. Kielbasa's sausage, your butt cheeks is warm.
Or the, a long ass fucking time ago, in a time called Kickapoo.
Yeah, you can do a lot of that.
Hell yeah, dude. That's
Yeah.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah.
You know what's a fun movie too? Fucking Purple fucking Rain. You ever watch Purple
Yeah,
Rain?
yeah,
'Cause I think
I
that's
did.
required watching for black communities. So. But Purple Rain's actually, it's a piece of shit. But I like
It is.
It is a
He
fucking
comes at the end of the
horror-
movie.
What do you mean he comes?
Remember
at the end of the movie?
the performance at the end's great.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's just doing his guitar on like a speaker, and then he's just like, and shit
Yeah.
is shooting out of it.
Dude, he used to do that live. He used to. I think it was the Super Bowl. His guitar had like a purple head, and he would like go like this and like jerk off the guitar. That's so
weird.
I know,
man.
but that's Prince being Prince, man. He's a fucking weird
yeah,
dude.
and he had some great music. That's
He
the
had
thing.
some fucking amazing
So,
music.
in terms of musical movies, for the first time in my life last
Thank you
night.
for getting that, dude. That's
No,
really
no
nice.
problem. For the first time in my life, I watched the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
How do you feel? Wait, or do you
All
want me to
right.
go first?
All right. You go first. You go.
So, I like Dan Aykroyd. I can never get into
first.
John.
I look like Dan Aykroyd. Apparently, that's what
Really?
People, that's what people keep saying. I'm Jack
They're
Black.
racist.
I know they are racist. Just because I have a bald head and I look like fucking Conehead.
Yeah. I like Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places. I
Okay.
tried watching John Belushi in terms of his SNL work, and then Animal House. I couldn't get into it. The humor.
I feel like it's just old.
Is that
It missed
can
us,
you?
dude.
Is it old? Because I love Mel Brooks' shit. Blazing
That's
Saddles
a
is
very
funny as
good
fuck.
Point. Fuck. You know
Blazing
what?
Saddles.
Holy shit, you're right. I was wrong.
So that's why I can't say that. Even some of Steve Martin. I watched The Jerk.
Yeah.
Funny
Jerk's
ass movie.
Funny as fuck.
Funny. This movie was just.
Wow, you're right.
What is funny? I won't blame the era. Maybe it's not the humor for me.
What about Caddyshack?
I was torn between those two choices. I was like, I can either watch Caddyshack or Blues Brothers. Blues Brothers was solid,
Blues
but
Brothers
it
was
didn't
solid.
make me laugh.
Right.
There's
It's more of like this is
songs.
interesting.
Yeah,
You know,
it
like
was
this
cool.
is okay. Ray Charles is fucking, you know, like
Pawn shop owner.
right, like this is cool.
Yeah.
But like not that it was funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Animal House, Caddyshack.
It didn't work for you. Yeah.
No, dude. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of that stuff that doesn't make sense. Even Steve Martin's fucking King Tut. His yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
There's nothing worthwhile in that. Fucking, he does like a SNL dance routine. Fuck you.
So what's a favorite movie that didn't age well for you at all? So for example, me.
It depends on the era, because the first one that came to mind,
Man, dude.
Batman Forever, dude. Batman
With
Forever.
Michael Keaton?
No,
No,
Batman
no.
Forever with Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Yeah.
That is a dorky ass movie, but I really
Tim
liked
Burton,
it at the
right?
time.
Tim Burton
No. It was
directed-
some
I thought-
other. It was because Tim Burton did the first two.
Okay.
Batman and Batman Returns.
Yes.
Third one was Batman Forever, which was a pile of shit, but I still love it somewhere in my heart.
So did you rewatch it and not love it? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I rewatched it like 7-8 years ago, and I was like, oh.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's. I was thinking of, for me, it was Don't Be a Menace while drinking your juice in South
I
Central.
haven't watched that as an adult.
Yeah, you haven't?
No.
Like that shit. I was quoting that all through high school.
Yeah, dude.
Just
Message. Yeah,
message,
dude.
I'll suck your dick, man.
Right.
It's like, no, ew, get out of here, old man. Like,
right.
and I watched it just recently. It didn't make me laugh.
Right.
I'm like, this is just stupid. This is stupid. The only thing I thought was funny.
See, there's
Go ahead.
some stuff that you respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or that was influential to you when you were a boy.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know what? We got to give still daps to that.
Yeah.
Because it gave us such joy back
Yeah.
in the day, you know? But that makes sense.
I can't
haven't
revisit
watched that
Space
as an
Jam out of fear or Good Burger out of experiencing that. I don't want that to happen to those memories.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Do you have movies like that you don't want to go back to out of fear of ruining your childhood?
Well, there's some because like there's some movies that you just won't watch because you're not a kid anymore, like Homeward Bound or Milo and Otis. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
I
I'll
don't know
never
the
watch
second
those
one.
again. Those are like gone for me, you know.
Yeah.
But oh no, shit.
There's one.
So at the end, did you watch Homeward Bound?
No.
So at the very end, when like
You could spoil it.
the cats and the dogs all finally make it home. I mean, it's Homeward Bound. They eventually make it home. But I remember watching a clip of it on YouTube and tearing up a little bit. Like, this was like last year, dude. I was like, why am I fucking tearing up right now?
Damn.
They did a good job directing, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not me being
Yeah.
a fucking ball of emotion. No, there's got to be a better example of stuff that has held up.
Doesn't have to be a children's movie. Well, I guess Space Jam is a children's movie. Kazam.
Spaceballs doesn't really... Listen,
What?
It doesn't...
It's my least favorite.
I
Mel
love
Brooks.
Mel Gibson. I love Mel Brooks, but like Space Jam is a but there even or Spaceballs, yeah. But even goddamn Young Frankenstein has some funny points, but it doesn't make me outwardly.
Yeah.
I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about musicians who are like that for you? Musicians who you respect, you appreciate them for what they are, but you're like, I don't fucking.
Of how they've progressed through their career.
That's a different one.
That's different.
I think like.
Okay. I
ones-
got an answer.
Go for it.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, dude. Ugh.
God, I had their whole. I listened to their whole discography all through college. Loved the shit out of it.
How dare you?
Freaky styly to fucking
Yes.
everything.
No. To where is appropriate now? You know, we all know.
I'm
the
with
answer.
you. I'm with
We
you.
all know the answer. There are 1 or 2 songs on Californication which you can listen to. Outside of that, fuck you.
Damn.
Danny California, suck my fucking dick.
That was a good album.
Fuck you. Stadium, Arcadium, the name alone is enough to get you the fuck out of the business. How dare you? Fucking, all right, listen. We all know that fucking goddamn Red Hot or Blood Sugar Sex Magic is one of the fucking classics, dude.
Yeah,
classics.
Great album.
And there are some, but even One Hot Minute had like one song on it that was
their worst. It's one of their worst.
because stupid Dave Navarro probably had
Yeah.
something to do with it. But and I think Around the World and like a couple of songs on Californication, but outside of that,
I love Stadium Arcadium. It was a good album. I'm not going to listen to it.
Do you have your black card? Because I'm going to take it the fuck away.
Dude, it's okay. It's totally okay.
Card, take it away by
I don't like them anymore. I can't listen
okay.
Even
the older shit? Even the fucking...
All of it.
Okay.
All of it is unlistenable. Okay. It's just...
Really?
I'm like, what is...
Blood Sugar Sex Magic?
Oh, no. It's good. In terms of, I'm not going to go through the album. One specific song.
I see. Yeah, no, I relate to that.
But
I'll go through, I'll listen to Greeting Song. Down, boom, boom,
that was fun. Their jams are fun.
Absolutely.
Their jams are great.
But, like... Why did we ever think he could sing? Why did we ever think that Anthony Kiedis could sing?
He can sing, but his lyrics mean nothing. I don't know what they mean.
True. Yes.
I'm just listening to it like that sounds poetic.
Yeah, Apache Rose Peacock, like that was. There was some interesting ones in that. But yeah, ultimately, like I don't need anything from them. You know what I mean? Like ultimately, like some tracks because I had What Hits. Which was the greatest hits of before Blood Sugar Sex Magic. And some of the tracks on there are fun, but like American Ghost Dance, that's a good song. American Ghost Dance.
I don't know that song.
That's from like the or Get Up and Jump.
Was that off?
So this is for you say you're into the Freaky Styley era. That was 80s Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I can name the I'm a jungle man. Like,
okay.
It's been isolated it.
Yeah.
You could be exposing me.
So anyway, there's some. Yeah, I think you're right. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
They were great when they came out.
But listen back, yeah. But I think also, I mean, there are some motherfuckers. Like, I think part of it is that Anthony. No, I don't think that applies to that because I've been working on this theory too. With some people, when they get sober, they get better, and some people, when they get sober, they get worse.
Eminem. Who do you think? What do you think he falls into?
He got worse.
Okay,
here's the thing.
I've had this conversation with a friend.
Here's define worse. So Eminem, when he was fucking
Slim
mad,
Shady LP.
When he was fucking mad, toxic as shit, horrible person in his personal life. He was the best.
Yeah.
Outside of that, although Sam Roberts did bring up a good point. He said that Eminem went after easy prey.
He did.
Boy bands.
Yeah.
Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he went after easy prey. But it still was like, oh, you can say that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, you can get paid for that? And that was not just because I was in fucking 9th grade. I'm saying, like, the motherfucker, or 7th. Anyway, he took some shots, you know what I mean? Like, and not just that, lyrically, I'm going to say this. Lyrically, Eminem is hands down the fucking greatest rapper of all time. Do I actively listen to him? No. And part of that is because his beats are dog shit. And number two, it's like his stilo is like even like doing a song with Rihanna. Come on, man.
Yeah, bad look.
Late 90s Eminem would have fucking shit on your mouth if
but
he did a song
surprisingly,
with Rihanna.
that's his most selling record, which is crazy. I would disagree. Lyrically, he's the best, but I have him as the greatest rapper of all time in terms of like reaching all the criteria of amazing record sales, longevity.
Why would record sales make a difference in greatest lyrical lyricist? Let me rephrase it. Greatest lyricist of all time.
You gotta have some numbers in that era for the context of the era where it's
but why
like
would the sales make a difference in the fucking? I knew we would find something we disagree with. Why would the sales make a difference? I think MF Doom is my favorite rapper of all time.
That's who I said was going to be my number one.
You see that?
Mad Villainy is a masterpiece.
MF Doom is my favorite.
Wow, I didn't want to say it. I didn't know.
All time.
I'll drop that name to people
many times.
and they'll be like,
nobody knows who the fuck
his
MF
sleepy.
Doom is.
If they know him, they're like, I don't know. He sounds really sleepy. I'm like, dude can write out.
He's
a writer.
Hilarious too. He's
good.
fucking
Raps.
funny, and every line is a fucking setup punchline.
It's incredible.
He's the best of all fucking time. But lyricism.
That's why you'd have Eminem over.
Listen, let me defend what I'm saying.
Whoa,
lyrically,
harsh.
not my favorite. Eminem is not my favorite.
Okay,
but I'm saying, listen to what he did on fucking Rap God. The amount of words he stuffed into that fucking track. No, don't get mad. Hang on, though. I still bleed MF Doom. I'm saying what he fucking does and smartness, sure, but like what he did, just purely volume, is fucking Okay, let's be fucking real. If you want to go by fucking sales, MF Doom hasn't put out a fucking record in fucking years. Did you hear the shit he did with Bishop Nehru?
Yeah, it was
dog
awful.
Shit.
It was
fucking
awful.
Dog shit.
It was awful.
He did one track with Madlib like a year and a half ago, and like dropped it on SoundCloud.
And he's teasing
that
us
was
with
it.
Ghostface and Doom album finish, but Ghostface keeps saying it's on Doom. It sucks. I agree.
He's the most annoying person to be a fan of, because it's like, you listen, we like you stupid piece of shit. But I think because part of it was because of his whole genesis and being in KMD, and then starting his brother dying, dude, his brother dying, and then all that shit happened, and him, donning the mask and just changing. He became a recluse, and he kind of had to be, right? Yeah. And I get that, but
just
at the
lost
same
his
time,
son too.
Oh, he just lost his fucking son.
He's going through some tragedies right now. I didn't mean to bring it down even more.
I didn't know that.
It's like, I don't want. That's why I asked this question, dude. 2004 was so incredible for him.
Right.
Victor Vaughn.
That was the same year?
Victor Vaughn, King Ghidorah, and Food and Mad Villainy in 1 year.
He didn't put out Food and
that was
Mad Villainy in the same.
2004.
Holy fuck.
Dude.
King Ghidorah, take me to
the
your
Alita. That Phasers beat.
Like he no slake like me neither.
That's
they
what
need
I'm
to take
saying.
a breather. He's here to catch him with bare hands.
Yeah.
These same hands that make races out beer cans. That motherfucker is better than everybody. What? But, god damn it.
That's the lyrics.
MF Doom is better. Okay, I mean, Eminem is...
I'm trying to think of an MF Doom line right now.
All right. MF Doom is fucking... my favorite is...
Figaro. Figaro is incredible.
No, one of my favorites is hear ye, how dare ye go up against the king who do his thing tri-yearly.
Yes.
They teal carefree with their mouths around here, off with his head and display it in town square. Who in the fuck in hip hop goes off with his head and hear ye? That's the best. He's the fucking best of all time. But I still. Okay, did you hear the track he did with Tech Nine? Eminem did with Tech Nine and some shit on Strange's album or Strange's record album. People. So he did a track called Speedums Volume 2. Holy fuck! Yes, some of that is tweaked, obviously, but Speed and because okay, let's be real. Busta Rhymes, one of my favorites, but the fast ass track he did with fucking the famous one.
Yeah. That bouncing
right,
beat.
right. When I feel like I gotta get away. Now that was fast and it was very good and it was fun to listen to, but he didn't say a fucking thing.
That's what Rap God is. And I like that song, but it's just flexing. Like that's the thing.
Okay, yes,
it's flexing
I'll give that,
of technique.
But MF Doom can't do that.
But look, you're telling me his raps, and I'm getting juiced off hearing because it's just incredible creativity.
He's the best of all time, dude. MF Doom is the best. I'm not saying he's not the best.
Best lyrically, I say he's the best lyrically.
Why am I defending MF Doom or Eminem on this? You're making
it's a very quiet flex. His is like I'm gonna sit here and you're going to respect me, and I'm gonna kick my shoes up on your couch.
Dude, I'm gonna meld the worlds of comics and selling drugs, and you're gonna love it, and I'm gonna fit, and I'm still gonna be because there's some rappers who go full comics and they're dorks, like they don't have that street oomph, and he's got that street oomph, and yet puts on fucking clips of the Fantastic Four cartoons from the 80s, and like everybody. Oh, he's my favorite of all fucking time. I didn't know you were a Doom fan.
Overthrow it like throwing Rover a biscuit. A lot of bitches claim he's overly chauvinistic.
Let go his dick if that's the case. Rats, what a waste.
There's more cats to chase.
So on my day off, that was actually, I started going Wyclef.
Uli vuku, uli cuckoo, like Erica knew off Newzoo Review.
Who knew the mask had a loose screw? Hell could hardly tell. Had to tighten it up like the Vels and Archie Bell.
Eminem's not writing that.
You're right. Why am I okay? But
So that's why I say sales.
But Rap God, not only was it it was a fucking 7-minute song that motherfucker did, dude. Like, he was flexing, but that muscle does belong to M, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's my favorite. I don't actively listen to Eminem fucking ever.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, MF Doom is
I'm listening to Mad
son
Villainy
of a-
the second I leave.
God, I have the metal mask at home. Like, it's legit heavy, and I wore it for Halloween, and kids were like, "What the fuck are you?" Like,
I want to get that ring, dude. He has that ring.
Yeah.
That fuck me, dude. MF Doom is the fucking.
Figaro was, what was that? That no pills, don't sleep, no dose pills.
Right.
Post
no bills.
Post no bills. Oh my gosh.
No, that's
Too hot to handle.
opening.
Who got you?
Oh yeah,
It's too
Who
hot
got
to
you? It's too hot to handle. Who got you?
Blue sandals. Oh, we were botching it
I
right
know,
now.
right? But my favorite is that opening. I think what opened me up to him was accordion, because I think I started listening to Daedalus, the guy who made that beat accordion, the original song, and then, which isn't even an accordion.
Madlib's incredible.
Madlib is great, but the original guy, Daedalus, who made that. Have you ever heard Daedalus?
No.
LA dude, really fucking weird. Really fucking weird. Like, thinks he's almost like his whole aesthetic and vibe, even though he's an electronic artist, is Jules Verne Around the World in 80 Days. You know what I mean? Like that old school top hat, mustache, like he's just a fucking weird guy. But he's very, and it's hard to listen to sometimes because he goes beyond accessible. Like, you ever heard fucking Dillinger Escape Plan?
No.
Anyway, like there are bands that go way too far into weird where like I can't even.
What Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart?
Okay, yeah.
Do you know that?
Do you listen to Zappa?
No, but he's on that, right?
Dude, Madlib samples sleeping in a jar, sleeping in a jar.
Oh,
that's Frank Zappa, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that Frank Zappa.
That was a great beat.
That's a great fucking beat. I'm
I'm
hearing the.
Do you remember the bistro? The bistro beat?
The bistro beat's good.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, but accordion
but
was
accordion,
it's a great
yeah.
welcome. Mine was all caps. Oh no, gas draws.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't find out about him until Mad Villainy, and then I was just dunked my head into it. Dude, he became my favorite very quickly, and he's still my absolute, hands down, best of all fucking time.
Last one. I bag bitches like nickels because I lick them where it tickles. Wait, I bag bitches like
That's not
nickels because I
MF
lick.
Doom.
Yeah, this on gastro because I lick them where it tickles. Before I hit the clit though, I must spit till I pronounce more hits than an ounce, no doubt.
Mixed to and extra unannounced.
I'm out.
Yeah,
and I'd like to give a shout out. I'm bagging bitches like nickels because I lick them where it tickles. Like it's
man.
I know we can go on forever,
dude,
man.
But I'm trying to remember how accordion starts.
And it's like a heartbeat bass.
Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dig dastardly and muttly with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master.
ICE cold.
Nice to be old. Y2GT thrice to threefold or twice to threefold. He sold the scrolls low and behold. Know who's the eldest ever like the greatest story told. Keep your glory gold and glitter. I have half of his niggas and take them out the picture. The other half is rich and it don't mean shit to villain and mix it between both with a twist of liquor, chase it with more beer, taste it like truth or dare. When he at the mic, it's like the place get like, oh yeah, that's like they know about to happen. Just keep your eye out, like aye captain. Is he still a fly guy clapping if nobody ain't hear it? And can they testify from in the spirit? No, I think. Oh fuck! And
damn,
can they testify
man.
from in the spirit?
Believe in the true laws.
Believe in the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the
Look like two broads.
And he hold the mic in your attention like two swords. Oh, I missed a line.
I don't know.
And he hold the mic in your attention like two swords. Or the one with two blades on it. Hey, you don't touch the mic
like there's AIDS on it. Eminem is not doing that.
I don't disagree.
The closest.
God damn it.
Like there's a song.
You're right. Fuck.
The song I go back to the most is for Eminem.
By the way, there's so many fans who are like, what?
Can they stop?
Like, I thought they were going to talk about
Get
Trump.
Mad Villainy. Get Mad Villainy. But the greatest song for Eminem to me is I Don't Give a Fuck. I think part 1 where he
Slim album?
Slim Shady LP, probably, when he just has the I have a box full of laxatives, shitting on rappers. Like, that line was so crazy. I have a box. I don't even know. But that is probably his best showcase of his lyricism.
But even, I'm glad he's sober, and I'm
I'm
glad
happy
he's
for him.
doing, but like.
It's not happening, man.
Sorry.
That's crazy. I'm so happy that I ran into a Doom fan.
Dude,
that's
he's my
shit's
fucking
awesome.
favorite of all time.
Yeah, I'm a nerd.
The only
guy.
other raps that I can like, because I was dipping into Wyclef by accident.
By accident, not on
because
purpose.
the score, I listened to the score
that shit
over
was-
and over.
Lauryn Hill could rap. It
Lauryn
sucks
Hill
that.
Okay, controversial opinion Wednesday. It's Sunday, but like controversial opinion. Fuck miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I would rather listen to the score. I would rather. Listen
Are you
to
saying
the
it's a
score.
shitty album?
No,
That's the thing. Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying
I agree.
appreciate 3 or 4 tracks off Miseducation. I would way rather listen to fucking to the score.
Well, she's getting a lot of heat over that album with the ghostwriting coming out. Like it's kind of crazy. Like there are people that are mad that they wrote the songs
For Miseducation?
For
or for the score?
Miseducation. Like that's even worse.
That makes me so happy.
No, come on, man. Oh, I like.
Well, my favorite thing is if that's true, that is legit making me feel good. And here's why. I know it's not good technically.
Yeah.
And Doo-Wop is a great fucking song. But ultimately, that means that her whole like activism is bullshit, and I love it when people get caught.
She wrote the fucking that thing, and then she was dating tons of dudes with and then she the Marley brothers. I don't know, her romantic life is a mess.
Oh yeah, no.
So it's
she's
kinda
crazy
just-
and shit. She was the
yeah.
one who was saying that she doesn't want. She would rather her son die than white people listen to her music. Or
Yeah,
something like
she's
a
kinda-
nut job. Yeah, for sure.
I feel bad for her, of course, but I would agree with you on the score being a better album.
It's just a better fucking.
I add a motherfucker for you, so you ignorant niggas hear me.
Yeah, y'all remember to take notes because I saw my rap boats and for you biting zealots. Here's
a quote.
Like
that's
she's doing.
man. She
and
had
for
bars.
you biting zealots. Here's a quote. No, my favorite is the one where she's saying, where she's like, oh yeah, and while you guys are doing something, she's like, I'm eating mango juice under Polaris.
You just embarrassed because it's your last tango in Paris.
And even after all you motherfuckers hear me, I add a motherfucker so you ignorant. No, but what's the one she says? I'll be Nina Simone and defecating on your microphone. I'll be Nina Simone and shitting on your microphone. But when Wyclef says, run through Crown Heights screaming out, Mazel Tov.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great album, dude.
I thought she was the lead on that whole album in terms of the bars.
Yep.
She came with the bars.
Yeah, nobody thinks Praz is.
I feel
I'm
bad,
sorry.
man.
Nobody thinks Praz. Yeah, but he did it to himself. Like when you're around that type of people and you decide to not go either one way or the other way, like Wyclef went his own way, and it seems, and Lauren went her own way, and when you just are like wait to do anything and then decide to jump on a track with Maya for the Bulworth soundtrack, like what do you fucking want? You know what I mean? Like at least Wyclef, whether you like him or not, he put out fucking Carnival. There's a couple tracks on that which are not bad. Gone Till November is fucking good.
And all I know is his one song, "Back to Damascus" or something.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
It's just like
or
his one
I
mainstream.
fucking tell you what, what doesn't get talked about enough is that goddamn track he did with look a here, look a shorty got back. Should I ask her for a dance? Hold on, there's so many in the wolf pack. And besides, 30 cats talking to her, buying the fake furs and taking it to the fever.
Ugh.
Like it's the track he did, Staying Alive. He used the deem. You
know
never heard
that.
this song,
Never
dude?
heard
Yeah,
it.
it's actually with him, Praz, and John Forte.
Okay.
Yeah, he was also a part of the Fugees. But like this, see everybody, I know my fucking rap, you motherfuckers. But all that stuff, by the way, this is your hip hop head. This is the stuff that I would rather listen. And I only got into Mobb Deep maybe
The infamous
a year ago. Listen, I only got into like a year
Wow.
ago. I would rather listen, even though Mobb Deep, and I talked about this on the show, but I would rather, even though Mobb Deep is simple lyrically. I fucked somebody, I shot somebody. That's all they're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
There's more juice in that than there is in Tribe Called Quest. Sorry, I would way rather listen to Mob than I would listen to Tribe.
Wow,
Sorry.
that is a hot. That's Skip
I like
Bayless
Q.
hot.
I like.
That's a Skip Bayless hot take.
I
That's
appreciate
horrible.
Tribe for who they are, but it doesn't speak to my balls.
What about
dude.
De La Soul? Would you put them over there?
I only know the fucking
Oh,
Me, Myself, and I.
my
I'm
God.
sorry. What do you want from me?
So you didn't.
I'm only
any
a
Zulu
very
Nation.
little bit black.
You didn't like a Tribe?
It's not that I don't like them, but like when I've listened to a bunch of their shit, and I'm like, okay, this is all right.
Award
But
Tour,
like,
Electric Relaxation, Midnight Marauders. Oh, wow.
sorry, like there's something in the bone structure of Mobb Deep that I would rather listen to the fucking that album that has Shook Ones on it than
Infamous
like
is
most
so
of us.
dark. I love that
It's
album.
great,
I
dude.
do. Well,
My favorite is Trife Life.
yeah. I like the with the Ghostface and Raekwon. Ding, ding, ding. Checking out. It's the Eye for an Eye or something.
Yeah.
Eye for an Eye.
Yeah.
Well, I can't shit on you for not digging a Tribe. I don't dig Jay-Z.
Okay, I don't dig
Like,
Jay-Z either. There's some
444
tracks though
and
that I
it's-
fucking
yeah.
adore.
Yeah.
Hard Knock Life is a great fucking song.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, here's another one. Tupac. I can't.
fuck Tupac. In his
Whoa,
face.
I didn't say that.
I'm gonna say it. I don't give a fuck about Tupac. All right,
didn't
let
say
me
that.
let me rephrase it then. No, fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck these motherfuckers. They've been listening to my podcast long enough. God damn it. Here's why Tupac doesn't give me any. I honestly, Biggie is way better than Tupac.
Oh, his flow is so fun.
It's
His
fun.
Fun
It's
ass
fun.
flow.
You
It's-
hear that? You have to be
His
fun.
flow is great.
Tribe's not fun. Come on
Oh,
now.
okay. You lost me
Tribe's
again.
not fun.
You're back
Tribe's
in.
not fun. I understand. Q-Tip's voice, Q-Tip's vibe is fun.
And the production.
The other shit.
Oh my gosh, you can't even get behind.
Okay,
the
no.
production?
I'm not saying I'm not getting behind it, but I'm saying fun.
It's fun. Wow, man.
Can I kick it?
can't.
That's fun.
Bugging out. You don't like bug. Wow. Back
Okay,
on
all right.
on the Boulevard of Linden, like.
Okay,
it was
all right.
so
Listen.
back.
I appreciate it. Oh, here. You know what? I know what it is. I know why. Okay, I know why it feels weird to me. Because a lot of motherfuckers these days who are rah against the system, who are rah social justice, hold Tribe up as like some like, remember back in the day?
Oh, I don't give a fuck about that.
Ugh.
I just like it.
When politics come into it and motherfuckers who are dog shit, who every song that they rap is about the struggle, quote Tribe and love Tribe. I'm like, it's the same reason why I don't necessarily like John Lennon. I've talked mad shit about John Lennon over the years. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think he was a good musician or writer.
I listened to a Yoko album.
You poor thing.
Yeah, just out of
Walking
Curious.
on thin ice.
yeah. Go ahead.
But she did John
John
Lennon. What bothers me the most is the fans. What bothers me the most is that they've put him up to this god status. As soon as you get, if he was just at like George Harrison status for everybody, I'd be like, yeah, John Lennon's great. But like the fact that he gets put up to fucking god status, I'm like, boop, fuck you. The same thing with Bob Marley. I like listening to Bob Marley, but the fact that almost all of his fans are fucking Trustafarians who are like, oh, reggae's so good. Fuck reggae. I like Bob Marley. I haven't heard one goddamn reggae song that isn't Bob Marley that isn't dog shit.
Wow.
I said it.
I
I just quoted MF Doom for you for fucking a half hour.
But Doom
I still
fans
have
do
my
that.
my black card. I don't give a fuck.
Doom fans do that to Doom, where they excuse the imposter. Some fans,
I
like,
don't
dude, it's
excuse
part of
that.
his part of his
His
you know
stilo?
his stilo. I'm like, no,
No, dude.
that's not cool.
No, that's shitty.
You don't rob fans.
Did you see the videos of oh god, he changed his name recently.
Most Def?
Yeah, did you see the Mos Def talking
Rap
about
Stitch,
how
Knishes.
yeah, dude, telling all their business, sit in the court and be their
Their
own
own
star
star
witness. And
witness.
he said that MF Doom raps as weird as I think. That's a great.
Do you like
line,
Most
dude.
Def? So actually, here's one thing.
I like the track he did with Black Star.
Oh,
and the remix of Black Star by Robert Glasper. Or no, it might have been Pete Rock. You know Robert Glasper? He's a jazz pianist and he has a jazz trio, but he's also a beat producer. Like he knew Dilla and knew all these guys and like fucking and like so he's mixed both jazz and hip hop beats. It's fucking great. I'm gonna send some fucking Robert Glasper to you. He's
I'm down.
amazing.
I'm looking for new artists.
What do you prefer, Jay Dilla or Madlib? Because I like Madlib, but I'm gonna say it right now.
Donuts is incredible.
Donuts is great. And I'm not saying this in a way as to like bump up Jay Dill. Jay Dill? That was the whitest thing I've ever said. Jay Dilla. But I am saying Madlib, when I actually looked at his albums, like he has Beat Conductor in India, Beat Conductor in a couple of other things.
Shades of Blue.
But like at a certain point, it just kind of feels like he presses play, like he finds a rare track from the 70s and presses play.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I dislike Madlib, but I am saying sometimes that motherfucker just presses play on another track.
I think Questlove said it best. The way Dilla makes his beats in terms of the samples he uses, I'll listen to that same song and it's like a half a second of a song. It is the equivalent of watching someone put together a 1,000-piece puzzle in seconds. Just crazy amounts of pieces, and it all works for some strange reason.
Right.
And Madlib, I can definitely see what you're saying with it sounds like he takes a huge chunk and just loops it.
Yeah, like the one he did for and don't get me wrong, I love what he makes, but like what was the track Pearls, the second Pearls, because they did Mad did the remix to Mad Villainy
2.
Yeah.
Curls. It was Curls.
Curls, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Curls.
And that fucking track is great, but he also is just like it's a half a song and another half a song. Like it's like, what is he? You know, here, come put a coin in the eggplant, the jukebox, the juke, da 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 da. That's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it just feels inauthentic.
You know what I'm struggling with is I'm listening to new hip hop now and I really like it, but when it gets into that gangster mentality of the things we're talking about, of cultural things to be aware of, it doesn't give me that same. I feel like I've learned too much to like let that shit slide, and it's crazy because it's like I love the genre, but these guys are influential, and I was listening to Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's album Bandana.
Okay.
And he has a line where it's like, shit's racist, just like the Reagan days. I'm like, you probably weren't alive during the Reagan days. So are you just, and it's just, he's just playing, he's obviously successful, obviously a great rapper, one of the best albums of this decade for hip hop.
Is the Freddie Gibbs album Bandana?
And Pinata, their first. So the first one was so good that I saw it as a second, like another Mad Villain.
Okay.
In terms of working as a duo so well, like meshing, those beats were crazy. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of worried. I don't want hip hop to be ruined by.
Similar. By the way, you want to talk about shitty ass Eminem when he did that track against Trump? It's like
what pandering,
boring motherfucker. Like he lost big points with me, not because I'm like a big rah Trump fan, but like because you're not. It feels it's pandering.
It's low hanging fruit to me.
Right.
It doesn't take any intellectual wherewithal to just say Trump is bad. It's very boring.
To be a stand up and say, "Oh, Trump is bad," is boring. To be a stand up and say, "Women suck," you know, like Patrice used to do. Like he would say it better than that. But like to like say the thing that, you know, and do it in a funny way, over the top way, using hyperbole to like make everybody go, "Oh shit," you know, and then like bring it back down and then move it. Like to do that takes experience and takes risk. And that's where the value is. And when motherfuckers don't, you know,
there's no risk in that.
And
that's great PR. So it's obviously, it's the same thing with Snoop Dogg. Like, dude, you're just trying to put your name out there and get more money in. I don't know.
So let's start wrapping up, but I'm wondering because I had another almost teacher. I don't mean that in like.
No, this game is like, rough.
Right. Thomas. His rap name is Gradient. He was on episode 51, I think. And he talks about being a teacher or getting ready to be a teacher. And even though he's super liberal, he's super Kamala Harris, blah, blah, blah.
He's probably a great person. Like, I can't, I need to stop myself. Because
I think we're all well-intentioned.
I get into
we're all well-intentioned.
I get into that mode of thinking for people and assuming of them, and I got to stop myself. So
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So I was having a conversation with an ex today, and we were talking about the podcast, and like the main goal for me is that stop imbuing bad intentions at the very least. We could be incorrect.
Yeah.
We could have different ways of dealing with certain issues, but intentions wise alone, we're all doing the best we can.
Yeah.
It's not motherfuckers who like if you're voting against immigration, you're not saying all brown people are bad.
Yeah.
No, it's more complicated than that. And I hate motherfuckers being intellectually lazy cocksuckers, and not just lazy, punishing to the other side. If you did a little fucking research, fucking turds.
I feel like if you just search and explore ideas, politics is much easier to analyze if you're about the ideas first before the sides.
Personalities.
Yeah, the sides and personalities. It's just
see what I keep saying to you, cocksuckers. Principles before personalities.
His shirt too.
Yeah. See, it's okay if we disagree on politics.
I just don't. Yeah,
I know. I've only had one person who was this dykey little girl behind a Starbucks who liked me. She's a friend, kind of, or an acquaintance. She was like, actually, it's not okay. Like, what if you're a Trump fan? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then she got distracted with some other shit, and I was just like, okay, roll my eyes. Everyone else has been like, oh, I like your shirt.
What were you saying about your friend? The teacher. I didn't.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
brought you on a tangent.
No, I go off on fucking rants. I'm sorry. So Grady is a friend and a fan, and he's a rapper, and he's talking about even though he's a liberal, being super like terrified of like. Because there's motherfuckers who are teachers who will almost lose their jobs for even posing questions. Almost lose their jobs for, and this is at the university level, for like being like, for doing the same stuff that you're kind of doing, you're getting ready to do, where you're more libertarian and thought based and not drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
I don't even know what I am, by the way.
Exactly. Because it's not fucking important.
I don't know what I am.
That's why I call it conservatish, you unlucky, unfucking grateful cunts.
Yeah.
Like Erykah anyway.
Erykah Badu has good music.
She had some good music.
Little
nuts.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Messed up Common.
I'd still absolutely.
Messed up Common. Andre got away.
She messed up. I didn't know her in Common
well,
went out, really?
Andre 3000, Common, and then Jay Electronica.
Wow.
And Jay Electronica had one album that was so incredible in like 2010, and he's been teasing that album for the past 10 years. And he's been with Erykah Badu for like 6, 7. I don't know. I'm not going to say correlation and causation.
By the way, the only thing that Common's done that I like is the Finding Forever album.
You didn't like B, which was entirely produced by Kanye? The one with
Finding Forever was entirely produced by Kanye too.
No, B was that's the one with the corner. Protect yourself.
No, Kanye did the Finding Forever. That's the one with the people.
Yeah. No, the people's on B.
Now it's Finding Forever.
Really?
Yes.
Shit, man. I do like that song.
That's a fucking great track, man.
Great song.
But Common's lyrics.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I get it. For me, I don't want to. I've been in this for a while, and I get resentful naturally because I'm like, you guys don't care how I feel unless it caters to your ideology in terms of school and academics. Always talking about that. And then I got to a point I'm like, this is not gonna help me or make my situation better. Being angry at everyone and to be the contrarian, to be like the point maker in classes. It's like gotcha. So I look at it as I'm gonna ask questions to lead them to where I'm thinking, and it's kind of I view it as being a spot on a bench for them in terms of their ideas or the weights. So,
well, okay,
I don't want they're of no use. It's like the thing with call out. I hate the call out culture, for example, right? So there was a black man. I don't know if you know the story of the guy who collected KKK robes. So this man named Daryl something, he was a blues musician. And then when he was playing the blues one time, he went off stage, drank at the bar, and some guy came up to him, white guy, and was just shooting the shit. And he's like, yo, man, I know that style. And he's like, no, that's not the style. No, I know that style. Guy confides in him, I'm actually a KKK member, dude. This is crazy.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, shit. Befriends him to a point where he gets his robe, and the guy says, I don't want this anymore. And over the course of his 30 years, because they just recently released a documentary on it, he's collected over 30 robes. Nice. So here's the thing. When at the premiere for his movie, a Black Lives Matter activist came out and asked him, and to be fair to Black Lives Matter, they're very fragmented.
Why would we be fair? Why would we?
I know, but I don't want to kick people and shit. I get it. They're fragmented. These two could have been standing alone. They asked the question, so what have you done for black people? Why have you spent so much time working with white people? And he's like, what? And it got heated, and the guys got sent away. But that attitude of, well, you should just call out racism. You should just point it out. Like, that guy was not concerned about that. He was just, you talk about all this inclusive talk, I'm going to be inclusive, and I'm going to be their friend and myself.
Right.
So when dealing with these mindsets of what I'm talking about, I'll just ask them questions, be cool. They're going to frustrate me to no end, but they're of no service to the world if I'm just being a dick to them with points. That's the way I view it.
Agreed. And I think so I'm not okay. I don't think that defending ourselves using our identity is good, but the fact that identity politics is the game they're playing, we might as well enjoy that privilege while we have it. Not here's what I mean. The ideas are important.
Yeah.
But the fact that we can tell them to shut the fuck up and they can't say anything because most of the time it's white fucking women or effeminate white men.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I hope, I don't know. That's what pissed me off.
I'll fuck
the
their
most.
girls. I have no problem. Fucking their girls. I'm a male feminist. No feminist wants to fuck a male feminist. Nobody wants to fuck a male feminist. Faggot ass motherfuckers. Jesus. And I love the gay community. Those motherfuckers are faggots.
It's good. It's good.
But I don't know. What am I trying to say? I'm not saying let's use our identity politics against them, but I kind of feel like while you have the ability for the call out motherfuckers to be like not know what to do with you, skirt right fucking past them. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I feel like, do you understand what I'm saying?
I think it's the teacher in me. Like, I got to deal with. Well, the thing is, they're adults, whereas I'm working with kids. So they're at the period of being malleable.
Yeah.
And sometimes I hit my head against a brick wall dealing with my classmates because it's just they're set in their ways.
Right.
So I'm just gonna be myself. That's all I can do.
Yeah. And they'll at least remember, oh, there was that teacher I had who didn't want to stop free speech.
Yeah.
And even though he was half black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. My personality is the fucking,
I get it, man. I totally get it.
But with love, though. With love. I mean, love is the ultimate thing. Love bullets, absolutely.
Yes.
Because love is ultimately the reason. It has to be the reason because, I was listening to Scott Thompson. You ever watch Kids in the Hall?
No, I listened to the guy's. He was on Your Mom's House with Tom Segura.
Wasn't that a fucking great episode?
It was very good. His whole thing on surviving AIDS was crazy.
Yes, dude.
Like being alive during that and then getting shit from the current community. Like,
if you haven't listened to Scott Thompson on Your Mom's House, you need to go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's a fucking phenomenon. And he says a lot of the same shit I'm fucking saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, what he was saying was that ultimately the intention, like I was saying, the intention can be felt. And if an audience knows that you're coming from a place of love, if they're open to, like, they'll take the context more fruitfully. They'll understand where they're coming from. And I think ultimately people understand that I'm coming from a place of love. Even though I'm saying all kinds of foul words and I'm shooting bullets, like, ultimately people understand that this is because I want us all to connect. Stop hitting your brother. No, connect. Everybody fucking get together, because that's the fucking point. You know what I mean? We're only on this earth for a fucking little while. I'm sorry to get John Lennon about it, but like fucking, stop being a cunts. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, like, at the end of your speech, do you just go niggers? Like, that's probably why your message isn't working, dude. I don't think that's good publicity.
But it's fun. Like, I don't want to stop saying bad words. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, and I've talked about this a lot recently. I'm sorry, but like, I know that I'm an acquired taste. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be, but those who have acquired me, please do me a fucking favor and share this cocksucking bullshit.
There you go.
Be underground about it. I need a fucking Harriet Tubman is what I need.
Yes, someone to lead you to glory.
I need a fucking Harriet Tubman. I need support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish. Find me on Instagram, Peter_Feliciano. That's big great. Album release party, September 13th, Friday the 13th. It's going to be fucking big. You all need to be there. As Nico said, I'm very good. What else? Yeah, I guess for now, new episode every Monday-ish. We'll see.
He can be swayed.
I can be swayed.
But don't sway him.
I change my mind all the time. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just thank you for giving me the time. I just like the conversation. I feel like I'm going to walk away I definitely am appreciating my doom a lot more, but man. I hope that
so good.
Pick of Destiny keeps you warm out in New York.
It will, dude. Maybe a little too warm, a little fucking close to the devil.
Okay. I will give a shout out, I guess, to the kids. Wu-Tang is for the children. I just got to say, read and live how you want to live, not what people tell you to live. Even me, like, it's kind of the nature of the game. I get it. No one can tell you to be yourself, and you got to find it. And along the way, you stumble a lot, but the payoff for just nurturing your own curiosities is pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible.
And you're fucking 27, so you have a leg up on the game. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I'm not to say, like, as your elder or whatever the fuck, but I'm just saying, like, when I was 27, I was just like, oh, right wing people bad, left wing people good.
Yeah.
Or really, I was just distracted with pussy. But like, I'm like, it's good. Like, it's good that you're on that direction, and you know what? It sounds like, that ultimately these intentions of trying to help the fucking kids is going to win out in the end. You know what I mean? And
not
that's
in a
all
way
that really
that
matters.
They're telling me at school. But
right.
yeah, man. Thank you. I think
you.
this has been incredible. Thank you.
I'm really happy. Thank you. Bye, everybody. This is Nico. Bye.
Take care, y'all.
Eat shit and die.